Kanpai!
Guess you forgot to put his own tracking on.
Welcome one and all to Kanpai Cast, which is episode number 147. I'm Thaylien, that's Xeno, that's Nasuth. He forgot to put his hand tracking on. Well done. Today's episode is the Summer 2024 3-episode review. And before we get a dig into that, we're just going to do a little bit of housekeeping. So the usual is like, comment, subscribe, YouTube algorithm. Please feed it because we really want to hit like that first milestone of subscribers that everybody wants to hit. You know, still very small.
Also, I really love reading comments. I super love reading comments. So the more comments you leave, the happier I'll be. And you want me to be happy, don't you? Why are you so mean? Why don't you want me to be happy?
So, for everything in the episode, links are in the description. Okay, to Xeno's Discord, the Twitch channels and YouTube channels where they stream, and join us on there for submitting your own memes and becoming a member of Xeno's Patreon so that you can submit supporter questions and we react to everything you guys do. The important notes are we have an audio version of our cast here so that you can listen to that. Just plug that straight into your RSS feed. Unfortunately, you will miss out on the memes, so come on over here and you'll find them in the link in the description. So
you'll also miss out on my hand tracking.
Okay. Why are you shaking your head at me?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing's new to the system at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
What?
Nothing.
Nothing's
It's fine.
new to the system.
Nothing is new to the system. I don't.
Well,
Nasuth, what are you talking about? Just get on with the show, Nasuth. Shut up.
Alrighty. So, like I said, this is the Summer 2024 3-episode review, where we take the first 3 episodes of each show and give it our rating and decide whether we're going to continue with it or not. This is a quick service for all of you guys so that you don't just get caught up by a flashy first episode.
Yes.
And Xeno once again has gone above and beyond.
I've got too much time on my hands. I've got too much 10, 11, 12, 13. 13.
That's not the right talk.
14. Sorry, 14.
I was close because I've actually managed 10 this season, and so I'm sharing some with Nasuth.
Yeah,
because we overlap, because we have taste.
That's honestly, it's really interesting because like typically whenever we record this, or whenever we do these seasonal reviews and things like this, Nasuth is Thaylien. You're typically the one with the least shows, so. If anyone is doing anything, it's that they are sharing it with you, right? However, it's really interesting this time because now it's a case of you're sharing with Nasuth.
Yeah, I've actually got 2 shows from last season too, so that's the only thing really buffing my numbers up.
Well, okay, so do you want to talk briefly? Why do you have 2 shows from last season as opposed to?
I wanted to review them last season, but I just had way too many shows already to watch, and so I just didn't have enough time to. Even though they were in English, and I could have binged them that way, I just didn't have enough time. And since I had so few shows this season, I was like, why not pick them up and see how they are.
Was it just a case of that there was just shows that didn't take your fancy, or?
Yeah, when I was reading through the descriptions of all the shows this season, nothing really struck me to. I mean, even the period piece one the Elusive Samurai that you're going to be reviewing later, like I don't know, there was something about that one that reminded me of one from last season that I gave up on, the weird one where people turn into like ravens and stuff. And that one, yeah. So I but you say it's really good, so I may pick it up after this. Sorry, I just gave it away. Cut that.
No, that's fine. It's fine. We're just talking. It's fine. Right. So let us begin because I have the most. I will be starting, and I'm actually going to be doing. I'm going to start with 2. Right. So so the first 2 I want to talk about is failure frame and the strongest magician in the Demon Lord's army was a human, right? Starting with failure frame to begin with, and I want to give this a 2-star pass. Like I've watched 3 episodes of this. I did not want to watch the fourth episode. I'm stopping. Right. This is the animation is all over the place. This is very much Arifureta, if you've ever watched it. The premise is basically a bunch of kids get isekai'd into another world where a goddess, so that they're all on this bus, and you've got the elites that are sat at the very back. I don't know why they are quote unquote elite. I think it's because they're rich kids, and the whole bus just gets teleported to this other world where a goddess wearing very little at all basically says, like, you know, you're here to help fight the demon lord, so on and so forth. They proceed to go through the actual classroom, and everyone sort of like has their abilities revealed and everything. And our protagonist here is basically weeded out as the lowest person in the entire classroom. And we've been doing this for generations. So basically, we get rid of the weakest person because they will drag the group down, and this is to help motivate everyone. But the weakest person has, of course, the most OP abilities in the entire group, as he has status effects. And oh yeah, but your status effects have like the most smallest chances of actually succeeding. He tries to use the status effects on the goddess blocks it. I'm like, well, if they have a very small chance of succeeding, why did you block it? Right? And the status effects are things like paralysis and poison and stuff like this. There is a lot of CG animation in this. Nothing remains on model constantly. It's very lackluster, and the plot is just sparse. So by the end of the second episode, our main protagonist, he escapes the dungeon, and he is like level 500 odd, right? We cut back periodically to our main group. They're like level 20, right? You know, the people that stuck around. And so, you know, I can't envision this being good in any way, shape, or form. Like, if anything, it's going to be like revenge. There's a word I don't want to say because YouTube may. It's a revenge narrative. Like, you know, it's for people to.
Is this the one that explains Truck-kun as an actual like entity, or is that a different one?
No, that's a different one.
That's a different one.
That's a different one. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
And then to go through the strongest magician. Oh god, where is it? Here it is. All right, the strongest magician in the Demon Lord's army was a human. This is, I'd argue, a 4-star pass. Right. So the main, so the whole point is that the title spells it out, right? So you got Demon Lord's army. The main dude is, I mean, he's not really the strongest magician because he has a senior that's high, more powerful than he is. But he's human, and what he ideally wants is for humans and demons to coexist. So as he attacks towns and things like this with the demon army, he mitigates collateral damage as much as possible. Then he, when they've taken it over, he enforces cohabitation. So it's like a case of, no, the demons will not harm the humans, and the humans will be, we will look after them, and they will be incentivized to support us. We will lower taxes, we'll improve their infrastructure, so on and so forth. Because a lot of the frontline towns and cities and things, they're being taxed to high heaven to support the war effort. So, you know, they're like, no, we're gonna reduce this for you. We're gonna make your life better. Don't fight us, right? And that's the premise and things like that. But again, I think I watched like 4 episodes of this, and it doesn't really. It's really bland and generic.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea using economic pressure rather than, you know, physical force, but I can see how that would not make for a very interesting anime.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing is, like, we've seen it before with I've quit heroing and joined the Demon Lord's army or something like that. I think that was the full title. Yeah.
The one with the guy that's actually like a machine, right? Or not exactly a machine, but a weapon.
It's an ancient weapon.
But that didn't have this. It did have a little bit of that side to it with the economic issue, but not to the same extent as it sounds like this one does.
No. That's the thing, though. This glazes over it really heavily, right?
Oh,
it's right. You know, the I'm quitting heroing. He's a lot more hands-on and involved in things like this. Whereas with this, it's like it's all talk, little show. You know, so
you never see these things in
yeah, you don't really. Yeah, it's like we're telling you we're doing this, but we've got no real, you know. Oh, that's good because we're under such economical turmoil because blah 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 blah. Yeah, you get the idea,
right?
So this is another one I'm dropping. So, right, I will hand over to Nasuth.
Oh, my turn. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and get one of my. I'll get the first 2 last season shows out of the way in my first couple of rounds. So let's start with Ninja Kamui, please.
Yep.
So this one was one of the ones that was made for Adult Swim, and looked really interesting. But it is because I gave it an acquired taste 4-star. Man, what is with me today? It's trashy, right? It is trashy in the way.
Sorry to interrupt. Did you say that this is the full season review?
Yes, this is the full season review of Ninja Kamui. Yeah.
Okay.
It's really trashy, but it's the right kind of trashy, the same way you'd see from something like Ninja Scroll or Demon City or any like 80s or 80s or early 90s sort of action revenge flick thing, right?
Yeah.
And because that's essentially what it is. That's the setup, right? The guy, he and his wife are from a ninja clan. They're ex-ninjas. They left the clan because they fell in love. And ninjas aren't supposed to have those kinds of attachments. And they have a kid together. But this can't stand. You know, the other ninjas can't let this stand. Deserters must be killed. So even though they're living in hiding, they're in disguise and everything. The other ninjas catch up to them and kill his wife and kid. Somehow he survives. I won't give it away how, but somehow he survives, and this thus begins his revenge trip. All of this very good. Like it. It's very generic and simple. Again, it's like something you would see in one of these older anime, but in a very nice, flashy, really well done style. But then it kind of dips into villain of the week around the halfway point. They introduce power suits, which but like you already had this cool ninja magic. Why don't you use the ninja magic? Why are you? They're trying to do a story about like what would happen if ninjas modernized and started using technology, but they just don't quite pull it off, in my opinion. Still really good. I still really enjoyed it. Obviously, acquired taste 4-star. But just be aware that it falls off a little bit towards the end. But it's got that 80s, 90s sort of anti-corporate and ninja worship thing going on. You look like you're about to ask questions, yeah?
Yeah, I want to ask you a genuine question, right?
Uh-huh.
Does this... So, you gave it a 4-star acquired taste, right?
Yes.
Is this a sunk cost fallacy? Did you get so far in, it's like, well, I might as well just finish it off?
No. Oh man, that is hard to answer. I don't think so because I did enjoy it. I did. You know, the fights are still really flashy and well done. A lot of good choreography. There are still some really good parts in there, like when he faces off against his best friend. Stuff like that. But there are just some of these, like, it's not. It can't be a must-watch because it's just there are too many other elements that drag it down. If it didn't have those elements, I probably would have given it a must-watch, even though it is a basic revenge tale. If that's all it wants to, if that's all it wanted to be, I think that would have actually made it better. But because it tried to be more than that, it knocks it down a little bit.
Okay. One of the biggest things that I heard criticism of was the fact that it kind of skips gears, like, pushing away from the whole ninja magic to the
power suits.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the power suit combat is all CG, but they don't take full advantage of the CG. Like, they could have sped it up so much, but it's really slow and, like, the hand-drawn stuff beforehand in terms of those fights looked so much crisper than that of the CG power suit fight.
I will grant that. Yes.
Okay.
The CG stuff isn't bad. If it had all been CG the whole way through, I think that would have. It's because of the shift. It's because of you had this hand-drawn stuff, had it beforehand, and now we're doing CG stuff that makes it look kind of less quality. But if it had been, if it had been power suits the whole way through, I don't think people would have noticed that quite as much. Right. But I do prefer the ninja magic, the cool ninja magic stuff, to the power suits. But
I mean, who wouldn't?
I mean, I love power suits too, but come on, man, you got a ninja show, do ninja stuff. I do still think it's fun to watch. I think if you like that sort of cool ninja story, it's worth a shot.
Right, fair enough. All right, should we move on to Thaylien's first one?
Yeah, and I'm going to do Bye Bye Earth.
Oh crap, I wasn't ready.
Wait,
I don't know which one.
You don't have Bye Bye Earth.
I
have Bye Bye Earth.
Sorry, you've got Bye Bye Earth. Sorry, I'm looking at my ratings. Okay, so I'm not going to start with that. I am not going to start with that at all. I'm going to start with one that I enjoyed, but I don't think my fellow viewers actually did, because I Parry Everything.
Okie. There we go.
Now, this one for me.
Oh,
you cut out.
We lost you.
How's that?
Better.
Hey.
Yeah. Okay, so this one I actually enjoyed, and I'm going to put this at an acquired taste 3-star.
Oh, okay.
Because this is a almost like one of the standard stories of a person has taken the chance, gone for a career they really want, trained really hard, and failed. This is I genuinely enjoyed watching the start of this, because this man is so determined to do what he thinks he can do, which is become an adventurer. He is an orphan. He's lost his father and then his mother, basically because he's just too poor to really survive basic illnesses. And he's gone off to try and become a adventurer, but he doesn't have any skills. So he goes around all of the schools, all of the different things to try and gain the skills to become an adventurer. He goes to the rogues, he goes to the warriors, he goes to the knights, he goes to the wizards, he goes to the clerics. All of these different things to try and find a skill that he has that's worth being an adventurer, or that the Adventurers Guild thinks is worth hiring him. And he learns the most basic skills from all of them and nothing else. So from the wizards, he learns like Tiny Flame, which is just a little point of fire on the end of his finger. From the knights, he learns Parry. From the fighters, he learns body reinforcement. From the rogues, he learns Feather Step. And there's just all these little skills that on their own are absolutely useless as an adventurer. And out of pity, the Adventurers Guild hires him on as
Okay, hang on.
F rank.
I've played Dark Souls. I know parry is not a basic useless skill.
Well, that's the thing, is that for them it kind of is, because there are much more skills that like you can do, like gigantic cleave, for example, which will behead a monster, that kind of thing. The parry on its own does very little, in this world. So he fails to be signed on for the Adventurers Guild. He goes home again, and he then trains on his own for another 10 years, something like that, doesn't it?
No, I feel it's longer than
14 years?
That sounds closer.
14,
I'm pretty sure he's in his
years.
30s. This is one of the ones that he's in his 30s.
Yes. So he arrives back at... he's judging himself. There's a nice little montage at the start where he's using the parry skill over and over, thinking that he can follow his, what his trainer told him, which is if you use one skill enough, you can unlock your mind to use another skill. But no, he just gets better and better at parrying until he claims he can parry 1,000 swords at once.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he goes back to the city now, having trained up, and they still won't let him really become an adventurer, but he signs on out of pity as an F rank. Like the very lowest rank of adventurer. Too. Yeah. Well, no, these
this
are
one's
people
not
that have
bad.
skills. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like they give F rank class jobs to like the poor and homeless and things like that, to like clean up the streets.
It's another one of those with letter ranks.
It's like letter ranks for job classification isn't too bad. It's letter ranks for skill classification.
Yes.
That's like
sorry,
I shouldn't say that.
Okay.
My bad.
Okay.
So anyway, the point is he gets hired on as the lowest possible rank he can be, and he gets given all the chores, and he's happy to do them. He's happy to go cleaning gutters, carrying soil and rocks, lighting people's fires with his tiny flame ability. He's helping people, and he's happy with it. He's getting paid, and he's doing his job. Then he gets accidentally caught up in an incident where a monster's attacking, and he jumps in and uses the only skills he knows, which he parries the monster to try and keep it off a woman that's being attacked. Turns out she's a princess. Turns out that he killed this monster that's actually A rank instead of it's like this super high level monster that shouldn't be on the surface. He's and he disappears into the thing because the thief's feather step he's got basically makes him disappear from sight these days. It's so trained and honed, and he keeps getting pulled into the thing where people are trying to thank him for what he did, and he genuinely doesn't want anything, and so he's like super self-effacing. He doesn't want the reward from the king for saving the princess. He doesn't want to win a fight against a guy that's clearly trying to prove that he's stronger, and so even when he's like dodging the strongest spearman in the world in the city's attacks, he's like, oh shit, he must be holding back on me, and he eventually just gives up because if that had hit me, I would be dead. So you're obviously better than me. And he is genuinely just this nice guy that can't take the idea that he's actually skilled. So, you've watched this too. What did you think?
I honestly got frustrated with this. I would genuinely give this like a 4 or 5 star nothing special, right? and this is one of the ones that I'm dropping because the first episode is excellent. The animation is crisp as hell, right?
All the way through.
Yeah, but the pacing, the narrative is like, the guy is just too fucking stupid, right? Like, he thought that the Minotaur he fought was just a big cow.
Well, yes,
right,
but that's because he hasn't seen any monsters yet. He doesn't know what.
Fair enough, right? But like, the guy is just oblivious and can't put two and two together at any point in time. I love the fact that when he talks to the king, he's like, I'm very sorry, I don't know etiquette. I've been living out in the sticks all my life, in solitude. I don't know how to greet you and things like that. And the king loves it, right? It's great. There's actual proper thought process going on there. But the second episode is just meetings in hallways. The third episode is the same, and like,
you say that, but come on, there's actual fighting going on and use of powers.
Isn't that the fourth episode? The fight, the sparring match? I thought was no, it is the third episode because it's the third episode. Gotta be, yes. It's got to be from the third episode because we got a screenshot of it.
Yes.
But yeah, it's like, again, when I was fetching the screenshots and things, like, it was impossible to get a screenshot of the fight because it's so brief.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not continuing this one, but at the same time, I do respect where you're coming from. This is gonna tick certain boxes for certain people, but if you turn to me and say by the sixth episode it really picks up, I'll be like, okay, fine, I'll pick it up again. But
with this one, I don't think he's stupid. I think he's deliberately not. I think he's actually just oblivious. Yeah, he's not putting two and two together because he doesn't believe. There's no way in heck that his ability, the tiny flame, could be special.
It's you wouldn't even say that it's obliviousness. It's self-doubt is more the issue.
Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely.
He's not stupid. He's not oblivious. He just doubts himself.
We see a little scene where the teacher of our supporting character says, hey, the tiny flame ability, this is what it is. It's a little tiny flickering flame. I said, but after 200 years of training, I've managed to do this. And he quadruples the size of the flame on the end of his finger.
Yeah. And so what's like little tiny little spot just grows a bit to like maybe the size of a marble.
And then when you see, in the third episode, when you see him do it, he says, this is my tiny flame. This is all I can do. And it's the size of a basketball.
Yeah, it's fucking massive, right? But see, the thing that frustrates me is the fact that it would take nothing for the princess to turn around and say, if that's your tiny flame, this is my tiny flame. And it's again, it's just like, the size of
they're talking across purposes the entire time. She thinks that he's showing, this is how much practice I've done.
Yeah.
Okay? I can't teach you anything.
Yeah.
And he's saying, no, this is the only spell I know. I can't teach you anything.
Yeah,
they're just talking across purposes the entire time. It's brilliant.
And that again is something that frustrates me because like we've had 2 episodes of this and it's just like. All
right.
I know it's sort of realistic, but also at the same time, not necessarily the most fun to watch.
No. It could pick up. It really could pick up, but Right, moving on. I'm going to talk about another two. So one of which is NieR Automata Season 1 Core 2. Right? I'm not going to go into much detail about this because I want people to actually watch it. And I'm giving this a 5-star acquired taste. Alright? If you're wanting to play the game ahead of the series, do not watch it because they massively changed the order of events. There's huge plot spoilers and things in the series because they've changed how the narrative goes, and it works really well. I completely understand and appreciate why the screenplay has, or the screenwriting, the screen script, whatever, has been adapted the way it has, right? The animation is gorgeous. We're getting to some of the really great stuff that's happening in the narrative. I strongly advise people to skip the intro whenever it comes up, because it's like telling a little too much here, guys. It's great, but I don't want to go into too much detail because I'm going to ruin it for people. So, season 1, part 2, go watch it. The next one that has been a complete and utter surprise, but I don't feel like there's a whole lot to go into, is Red Cat Ramen. Right now, this is a show that is targeted for a very younger audience, much younger audience than myself, but I'm surprisingly enjoying it. It's a slice of life, and as one may be able to tell by maybe the name alone, it's a ramen shop that's run by cats. Pretty simple, right? But they need to hire a human, right? Because part of the concern with being a cat-run restaurant is getting cat hair in the food. So they have to be brushed regularly. But the problem is with our our host, our motley crew of cats. Oh. No, not the human. The human's the solution. The problem is they can't clean themselves efficiently. They can't clean themselves easily or brush themselves because they're cats. At the same time, they struggle whenever they hire someone who wants to work there. Well, it's because they're cat lovers, and as a result, efficiency goes down. Hilariously, the only question realistically that the manager of the ramen shop asks the human is, or the applicant is, are you a dog person or are you a cat person? And she turns around, well, honestly, I'm a dog person. I was like, excellent, you're hired, right? Because we need you to focus on doing the job, not playing with us, right?
So, what did you rate it?
Oh shit, I completely missed that part. Sorry. I would say this is 3-star acquired taste. It's not going to be for everyone, but sorry, thank you for pointing that out. But it is a fun watch. It's very slice of life. Hijinks ensue constantly. I was hoping that we'd actually get a screenshot of the one of the back room workers. She's constantly making noodles for them and things like this. She's a tiger. She's a fucking tiger. But she is like the most loveliest. She is the most down to earth character. Like, she doesn't. No, she has obviously a threatening presence, but her demeanor and everything is, I don't want to be in fights. I don't want people to look at me. She wants to hide in the back rooms. So
it's like when you see a chef in one of these and they're all huge and burly and muscled and look like they could kill you in one shot, and then all they want to do is feed you. All they want to do is give you good food.
Yes, that's 100% it. Right.
You look like you're starving. Here, let me give you my famous omurice, sort of thing. Here's one point, right? This is all CG. Oh,
all of it. All of it is CG. Yeah, it's really well rendered. They've obviously done it for the cat characters themselves, and it works really, really well. There's only like the odd moments that you will often spot the CG elements.
Yeah, this looks hand drawn. Wow.
It does, but it's I don't know, maybe they've for a lot of like the close-ups and things, they've actually gone ahead and actually gone over with hand. Yeah. There are some parts that are hand drawn, but a lot of the time when it stills, it's Yeah, it's CG, and like you just can't tell. It's really well done.
Technology's really coming a long way.
It's really topical, though. I would never have expected a cat cafe to have the same problem as YouTube content creators.
Yeah.
I was grooming.
Oh, god damn it, fucking Thaylien! Oh my god!
Cut that. Right.
Anyway,
shall we move on to something something else that's kind of uplifting and fun?
Yeah, go on.
Let's do TP Bon, which is the other show from last season, the other full season review. So, now this is probably partially down to personal bias, but I give this a 2-star must watch. So this is to celebrate the 50th anniversary, I think, of Fumio Fujiko, which they've done. I mean, they've just done tons of stuff, tons of stuff, and it feels like they've perfectly captured that era of animation. Again, much like Ninja Kamui took that sort of 80s action aesthetic and updated it. This feels like it's done the same, but it's updated it because everything is smooth and clean and you know, everything, all that stuff. But it visually, I mean, let's just look at all this. It looks like a retro anime in a lot of ways. The character designs, the shading, you know, so much of it. But essentially, this is when studying too hard leads to a nervous breakdown. Consider that perhaps the crazy things are real, or you're in an anime. It's sort of like Doctor Who meets Quantum Leap, because he gets. Essentially, they were going to erase him from time because he saw them. Normally, nobody's supposed to see them. These time agents, and they were going to erase him, but it turns out that he is critical to some point in history, some future point in history that he doesn't know about. So rather than erasing him, they're going to make him part of the Time Patrol. Bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy there, I think, because I would argue that the only reason he's critical to history is because he's a Time Patrol agent. Because the hijinks that they get involved in, right? So in a lot of ways, this feels like it's aimed towards a slightly younger audience. They're giving very brief history lessons to. I mean, they go back to like 1940s Japan, like just after the war. They go to ancient Egypt. Lots of cool stuff. I think they even go further back in Japanese history than that too. But and a lot of the stories are really kind of nice and lighthearted and everything. But then every now and then they throw in something really dark, like really dark. They did they went back to the witch trials, and were not able, like, despite wanting to help this particular person, they couldn't, because it goes against the Time Patrol rules. And so we, as the audience, literally watch her burn at the stake.
Jeez.
For kids. They also go back to the 1942 Kamikaze run, and they could only save one pilot. And that episode literally had me, like, tearing up a little bit. And I'm not usually very, very emotional when it comes to things. So, like, yeah, it goes deep. It really goes pretty deep. I did forget to start the timer, but anyway. I think it's good because one of the reasons that makes it good is because it's so often very lighthearted, and then it has these sharp moments of very deep, interesting story. It's not all deep, dark, you know, sort of stuff, and it's not all lighthearted. It's a little bit of everything. But it really is also just here to be a fun, you know, an adventure. Even the beach episode that they have is pretty fun and imaginative, and not just like, oh, here's an excuse for girls in bikinis sort of thing, you know. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. This one is a Netflix one, but obviously had power behind it because of Fumio Fujiko. So yeah, really, really good one.
Thanks.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
moving to me, I am going to go with a 2 of 2 here. The Ossan Newbie adventurer, trained to death by the most powerful party, became invincible.
Can I say something before you actually start?
Yes.
I got really upset when I discovered that Thaylien watched this, because I thought I discovered a golden goose and I was going to be able to actually review it, and then I think it was like last week Thaylien mentioned that he was watching it and I went, no! Yeah, there you go.
I'm utterly... Okay, you do have goldfish brain because I mentioned it right back at the...
No, he never mentioned
at
it.
the start when
Nope.
we're doing the... picking our 3 shows.
Never.
Anyway, so if I had a nickel every time a 30-plus-year-old adventurer trained to death and became overpowered, I'd have 2 nickels this season, which is not a lot, but it's weird it happened twice. So in this one, it's a much less self-driven show. This is a gentleman who works at the Adventurers Society as one of the desk clerks and has seen adventurers go off on their travels and all of the things they do. And finally, after turning 30, decided he's going to chase his dream and become one of them. And somehow, he has fallen in, we don't immediately see this, but he's fallen in with the literal strongest adventuring team ever. And they have trained him until he died multiple times, literally died, and they resurrected him.
So the Saiyan
kept
method.
telling him,
Got it.
yes. So the Saiyan method, and kept telling him, you need to master at least this much, otherwise you won't even be an E rank adventurer. Okay, so they convinced him that the skills they were teaching him were like E rank.
Sorry, did you give the rating for this?
I did not,
no.
but it's exactly the same as the other one. It's an acquired taste 3-star. it's just the same show from another angle.
And yet, weirdly, Zeno likes this one a lot more than that one.
I'll tell you why
Yes.
afterwards.
Okay. All right.
So so this is it, following his story as he goes into the to undertake take his first test to become an adventurer at the lowest rank, and he's going to go through a couple of tests, and he's going to go through a bit of combat training against an instructor, and he keeps noticing that, hang on, people must be like restraining themselves because this, that was C rank and I can only do E rank. Therefore, he must have been really, really constraining his ability to make sure of that. There's some hilarity ensues where he shows up a brother and sister who are, nobility, and one's a mage, and he shows off. His one spell is able to hit much harder than the young boy mage, and then he's able to fight on par with the sword-wielding older sister. And the two of them go running to their super talented mage older brother to try and get revenge on him. It's a shenanigans thing. There's lots of people reacting to how strong he is. And it turns out that because he didn't train at all before he was 30, his abilities, his capacity for magic is tiny. So his friends, who are S-rank adventurers, trained him to become S-rank in his control of magic, the control he actually has, his physical strength, and his physical control. It's the 4 stats they give it to, or something. So he's off the charts powerful in everything except his capacity for magic. And of course, as I say, shenanigans ensue with people reacting to it. It's fun. Unlike the other version, though, this guy isn't stupid. He realizes it, and he's told about how he's much stronger. And at the end of the 3rd episode, they actually do tell him, no. We just, he's S rank. We only hang out with S ranks, and he's now just getting to comprehend that we have trained him up to our level and not to the basic level. So I enjoyed it. I'm actually genuinely enjoying it. So, what was your particular take?
So a lot of similarities. This is one of the very few shows this season that has actually made me laugh out loud. And as a stoic British person, I would like to say that that's not exactly the easiest task
it's not
to
easy.
do. No. There were plenty of things that caught me off guard, but I assuming I was going to review this, I put, like, I didn't realize how much I needed Fantasy One Punch Man in my life until I watched the first episode of this, right? And it's
so odd that you didn't watch Mashal then.
Fuck off you and your weird Harry Potter shit, okay? Right?
So is the difference that this guy is more proactive than the other guy?
No, it's not just that. It's a case of... So, I want to describe one of the events where basically he's been tricked into doing a duel with a... what was her level? Yeah, it's the girl.
She's B rank.
Is she B rank? I thought the brother was A rank. That was it. Yeah. So she's B rank and everything, and she's going to do the lightning step and things like this. And when, our main protagonist is basically shitting himself, like, oh my god, she's going to completely and utterly destroy me, and he's sort of like frozen in fear. And as she actually performs the action, he's like, wait. Is this it? Is this?
She's really slow.
Yeah, she's really fucking slow, and like he just dodges out. He just steps out of the way.
But the second
time, it's like she goes, "Oh, I'm gonna go maximum speed." And
no, it's even better.
Go on.
Second time, he thinks she's going to be slow again, but she trips and ends up cartwheeling towards him at super speed. And he has no idea what she's doing. He thinks it's some advanced technique because he's not sure he can dodge it. So he gets out of the way and she's just tripped and is catapulted towards him.
So there's a lot of humor here, which is not just pomp and circumstance, because you got people pretending like they're superior and shit like this. But you've also got the fact that this guy, who is sort of like a mix of Genos and Saitama, like he's learning to become like an S-rank hero, but at the same time, he's already at he's close to Saitama's level already, and he doesn't freaking realize. So it's funny in that regard. It is a bit slow. But what did you give? You said you gave it an acquired taste 3-star.
Yeah.
I'd have probably given this an acquired taste 4-star. Like I would probably rated it just a bit higher.
So when you said you wanted to review it, I thought you were going to go higher than me. But
yeah.
We'll see how it goes, because this is one of those ones that I want to see. I want to see the other episodes, because this has done the setup over 3 episodes instead of over 2, like the other series.
Yeah. So again, it does it starts off really fast and then it slows down, and I was quite surprised at how much it slowed down. But I didn't at the end of each episode just go like, "Shit, is that it? Was that the whole episode?" Jesus. So
there is actually quite a bit in these first episodes, including Hot Maid getting jealous while Hot receptionist gets jealous. Yeah. So it's amusing.
It knows what it's doing, and it's doing it.
Oh, this guy on screen is hilarious. He can see the stats. And
let's not, because
it's just hilarious. I love him.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna move on. We've already hinted it once. I'm going to talk about the Elusive Samurai, and to me, I'm just going to say this now, right now. This is really presumptuous, really early on. This is a 4-star must-watch.
Wow.
Right, I'm not kidding. So I do not typically like historical pieces. Right, Nasuth is the one that has the weird boner for historical shows and things like this. But I wanna read
not just a regular boner, Thaylien, a weird
So
boner.
I'm going to sit this side of the box for a bit.
Yeah. So I'm gonna read out the blurb from both Wikipedia and Anime Planet because I really want to do this justice because this is how much I respect this show, right? The Elusive Samurai is a Japanese historical manga series written and illustrated by Yusei Matsui. It is based on the historical figure of Hojo Tokiyuki, a young samurai determined to enact revenge on the Ashikage revenge on Ashikage Takeuchi, a samurai who betrayed and caused the downfall of his family. It has been serialized by Shueisha and Shonen Magazine, Weekly Shonen Jump since January 2021, with its chapters collated in 16 Takabon volumes as of July 2024. The anime television series adaptation produced by Cloverworks premiered on July 2024.
Yeah, Cloverworks. So, that explains why it looks so good.
Yeah, no. So like, I'm going to come back to the look in a second, but to read the description from Anime Planet. In medieval Japan, 8-year-old Hojo Tokiyuki is the heir to the Kamakura shogunate. But the Hojo clan is in decline, and Tokiyuki's peaceful days of playing hide and seek with his teachers come to an abrupt end when his clan is betrayed from within. Now the lone survivor of his family and a fugitive, Tokiyuki is the rightful heir to the throne. But to take it back, he'll have to do what he does best, run away, right? So the whole premise of this show is effectively we have the heir to the shogunate, who is the last surviving clan member, who is being brought up by a priest, right? He's being encouraged by this priest who can see the future. Hopefully we'll actually see some of the screenshots that I've taken on the show, because this priest, who has been given this godly gift of being able to predict the future, is unhinged. He is a menace, right? He is like, there is so much to this show that I can't really give justice to, like the respect to animation art styles and things like this. There is, I argue there is an homage to Ghibli interpretations of wildlife in the third episode. We saw a moment ago on the backgrounds, there was this really rough and visceral feel to one of the fight scenes, and that was the second episode when they're trying to make it feel like unhinged. It is trying to portray a sense of uncertainty, unreadiness, so on and so forth. Cloverworks is knocking this out of the park. They're doing a phenomenal job in not only storytelling, but animation as well. I do feel that this is directly targeted at kids because I don't know enough about the historical moment in time when this took place, but I wouldn't have thought Tokiyuki was as young as he is portrayed in the anime. I could be wrong, right? But I imagine he will remain a kid throughout the entire series. Huh?
Time to reopen that wiki article.
Well,
continue talking.
We have the premise, but it's just like, I don't know if the events in, feudal Japan, was he 8 years old when this actually happened, or is this just, how it was decided for the series. But yeah, no, I absolutely love it. I think a lot of people would really enjoy this, and I can appreciate why a lot of people wouldn't necessarily pick this up straight away. So yeah, I strongly recommend this one.
Nice.
Doesn't say how old he was.
Yeah.
Oh well.
True.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on. So Thaylien was going to talk about it. So let's talk about it now. Let's talk about Bye Bye Earth.
Yay!
Feel free to join me on this one, Thaylien, if you so wish. Now, I get the feeling that I liked this one maybe a little less than Thaylien because I'm giving it nothing special too. In all honesty, despite the really good animation, like it is really well animated, but the style is sort of mid-level. Like, the characters are very... Aside from the fact that she changes her clothes a lot, the main character changes her clothes a lot, everyone feels relatively generic anime style-wise. The storytelling is very fragmented in the beginning, and then I don't feel like it's necessarily evened out over the next 2 episodes, like the first 3 episodes. You still get a lot of like weird flashbacks and stuff. Things just kind of happen. It feels to me like things just kind of happen with little to no connective tissue between them. Although there is a fair bit of environmental storytelling, like their house is full of things that are like, well, this is clearly a very magical setting. He smokes a pipe that has a flower in the end. Their lights are spheres with little tiny flowers inside of them. She drinks flower
light comes
tea.
from their roots, that kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. One of the monsters... See, I rated this higher. I had this at a Quiet Taste 4. So, yeah. Because this is fantasy doing its very best to be a proper fantasy world, different to what we've seen before. So
Agreed.
They have a monster, but it's called a flower. And she's odd because she actually eats flower flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And doesn't
also,
necessarily want
so
them all to die
is,
either, even though she killed that one because it was a threat.
Yeah. She even... So it helps that a lot of their magic seems to be built around growing things. They have singing magic that helps the plants grow. So the idea that there's a part in one of the episodes where the idea of singing when you're not trying to build or grow something is a bit odd to her because the singing is a job. It's a magical job. But
they also apparently grow their swords rather than smithing them.
Yes, so they
But there's also a lot of terms that are just kind of thrown around, and they don't bother to explain it at all. And that happens
looking at the
a
captions.
lot.
Yes.
What? No. Even with
they
some
do
of the
put little captions in there as well.
Yeah, but even then, it's like usually it's just like this is the name of the thing, not like MC starts out overpowered from birth, so that's kind of a strike against it. Not necessarily, but even her curse is like it's not really that much of a curse, is it?
I'm not sure. So to explain to Xeno, who probably hasn't seen anything to do with this, the aim of this character is to find a place where she fits in, because she's
the only human
in a world where there's all fantasy creatures and animal creatures.
she was born from a stone, or she appeared from a stone.
Yes.
She was already a little girl at the time, but she appeared from a stone with no memory of like how she got to be a little girl.
Yes. So she's forgotten something there. She starts being raised by an adoptive family, but is difficult to fit in. And so she's then raised the rest of the way by a teacher, an Erewhon. And he was at one point an officially recognized nomad. And to be a nomad, you have to take on a curse that limits you. And his curse is that he has all these skills, but he can only teach. He can't use them in combat. So that's why he's a teacher in Erewhon. We find out more about him as time goes on, but she doesn't, because to become a nomad, she has to literally have her memories of him erased.
Except that they haven't all actually been erased. It's weird.
No, it's weird.
It's weird and inconsistent, and I don't like it. Also, why does she have to forget him to start her journey? They don't explain that.
We're not sure. They haven't explained yet. Still,
Why the other thing, there are other, like, this is part of the whole, like, things that are feel disconnected. Sorry, there was a point to going on that backstory, wasn't there?
Sorry. Yeah, no, so she gets her curse and she becomes a nomad. She takes on the curse from him. That's why she forgets him, because she has to take on his curse.
No.
And so it's in that same whole episode. Anyway, so the curse for her is a different curse, but it's you have to take the curse from it has to be passed from your master.
Yes.
Anyway, and her curse appears to be, we're not quite sure, she can't kill people. So she has this giant sword.
There is like one interesting line where they say like she sees no difference between cutting trees and cutting people, you know. And so this curse is probably to teach her that lesson.
Mm-hmm.
But back to the things that they're just disconnected things that happen. There's this little rabbit that shows up at one point, right? And then later there's an evil gang in the city that she stops at that grab the rabbit and bring it into the bar where she is before they decide to kill it. Or before they say that they're going to kill, before they actually commit the act of trying to kill it. Even though their entire goal in capturing it in the first place was to bathe their swords in its blood because it would make the swords extra powerful. So why did they drag it all the way into town, into the bar, rather than just killing it where they found it? Doesn't make sense. No. It's just so the hero can see it and stop them. Concepts like growing swords that sound cool, but with no real explanation besides that. It's kind of just meaningless jargon, and that happens, again, a lot. The pacing and tone is constantly shifting and kind of jarring. For example, the castle dungeon to the inn to the army of insatiable emptiness, back to the castle in a brightly lit room. It just cuts. It just goes from place to place. It's very, I don't know. I just didn't. Yeah. I'm not getting on with it.
Fair enough. But,
so what would you rate this then, Thaylien?
So I had this at a Acquired Taste 4.
Yeah.
Because I really like the fantasy
difference.
world they're creating, and I really like the way they actually are giving us a character that, yes, she's really physically powerful. What?
She a character?
Really physically powerful.
No, yes. Is she a character?
Yes, she's a character that's really physically powerful, but is then mentally lost, and that's the story. It's not her super strength is not really the point of this. It's kind of like a tool that's being used. So, yeah. So I like it. Nasuth doesn't. That's a difference in how we're approaching this.
Right. I'm probably going to stick with it for a little while though, because there are some interesting ideas there. It's just that it all feels like, hey, if you keep watching, this will have a payoff. We promise, sort of thing, and I don't like that. It doesn't feel like it's flowing naturally to me. Anyway.
Fair enough. So I'm going to move on to what I actually wasn't expecting to enjoy, and is Quality Assurance in Another World.
Ooh. Oops.
So this one I watched, last out of the lot of them that I started watching, because I wasn't too convinced, but after watching it, it's an Acquired Taste 2-star. So this is what if Sword Art Online trapped people while they're in the actual bug testing stage. Basically, it's a fantasy world. We almost never see the outside of it. You see the character, just as he's about to log into it, in one scene. But our main character is a bug tester in this world that's been created, and it seems to run on quite a bit of what we would call more intelligent AI, not the algorithmic stuff, where there's the people there do seem to have actual character, the NPCs, and react and have a life. And there is an overarching intelligence that tries to keep all the background going, and all the animals moving, and all the the world growing. But he is just a bug tester, and as we meet him, he is testing out some kind of bug, we're not quite sure at the time, where the monsters are moving in on a small town. And we see him preparing lots of arrows and lots of barrels, and he's met by this little girl that's one of the villagers. And he wants to test to see if he can defeat this monster that's coming down on the village using just basically blowing it up with barrels and shooting in the eye with arrows to see if he can stop it from destroying the village. And we then become aware that this is a game, because even though he does this, all the villagers catch fire and die because it's a predetermined event. This is a game that he is trying to test, and this is multiple times now he's watched this village burn down because he's having to test it to make sure that, even if you do exploit the game and kill the monster, the village will still die. It gets actually quite emotional at that point when you realise, no, this is somebody who's here and he's trapped. He and a whole load of other bug testers, are trapped and unable to log out of this game. And most of them have decided to just, okay, we can't log off, I'm not going to work, and I'm just going to do what I feel like in this game. It's a game. And so imagine if people couldn't log out of GTA 5. All the stupidity they'd get up to. But this is a fantasy game. So, our poor guy is now, he's still putting the time in, still bug testing, because he thinks that if he can get all the way through the bug reports that he has been given, it might allow him to log out.
Is that? I thought, no, it was,
Yeah, there's a couple of other people have the opinion that if they complete the game, they might be able to log out.
Because that's what he's now going to do. Because the idea was that he would keep on debugging while the others go and complete the game. But he's not heard from them for months. A year. Yeah, so he's going to do it himself.
It's actually really kind of there's a bit of an existential horror here, because you meet the team that he was, you get in a flashback, you meet the team that he was with, and then you meet two of the members of the team in a later episode, where one of them is permanently in a death loop. So she's fallen into water, which should instantly kill her, but she's got the debug invulnerability on, so she's instantly respawning. She's not changing expression. She's just touching the water, teleporting up a bit, and touching the water, and teleporting up a bit, and touching the water, and she's been like that. Yeah, she's been like that for nearly a year. Meanwhile, one of the other guys tried to teleport and ended up slightly merged with the floor and is slowly sinking through it. So he's clipped into stone, and they can't talk to him. His face is on the other side. They can't dare use they can't get him out using any of the methods they know of. So he's just left there with his pants down. And there's another one, apparently, that said, I can go really high if I change this parameter in the debug mode, and has never come down again. So there's a little bit of dread there. So I like the way this one's going, but it's a maybe one for me. I wasn't sure I'd like it, but I did in fact end up enjoying what I had in these 13 episodes.
What did you say? Acquired Taste 2-star?
Yes.
That was yeah. Okay.
Yes, I can see you've also watched this.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of potential in this, hell a lot of potential. But at the same time, it feels like the author's done half their homework. Because so some of the stuff they talk about is how one character falls out of the world and is just he will fall forever now, and it's just
there's no assets there.
Yeah, and it's just but that's not how that would work. He would fall to the boundaries of the skybox, and then he would either teleport to the top or teleport or he'd just land on the bottom. Right? He just wouldn't fall forever. Right? Yeah. there's again the whole woman.
This is a futuristic game. You don't know that for sure. You don't know that it follows the same rules as games now.
I can't envision it. I can't envision it breaking out of. But again, it's still like, you know, if it's a case of he'd fall out, he'd hit the bottom, and it's like, but he's stuck there. There's no way we can get him back up.
Exactly.
Right.
There's no way you can get him back out of the in between place, the out of the bounds.
There's a lot of things in this that, though it sounds cool, the practical application of this stuff just feels wrong. Right, and that's like the developer side of my brain. I just can't turn off. Right, so I am currently still watching it, but at the same time, like, I am concerned that they like the stuff that they're going to come up with. It's a really good idea, but it just feels like you haven't thought this all the way through. That's my biggest concern. That makes sense?
Enough. Yes. But I do like the idea that they've put in with the fact that there are multiple testing groups from different companies, and that, of course, because this is a game to most of them, they think they can do pretty much anything. So one guy greets him, could work with the debugging, and stabs him in the stomach.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that was just for funsies. Wasn't anything with a consequence.
The biggest problem I have with the whole thing is the fact that if they have literally been stuck in this game for a year, how are they still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, how are they still alive?
We don't know what's on the outside.
And that's the biggest thing to me. Like, to me, it's just like, maybe it's a case of inside the game operates much faster than than the real world, and it hasn't even been a whole day for them yet, right?
Maybe.
But like, it just feels off, and that's my biggest problem. Yeah,
there is something off about it, because a whole year without being able to log out sounds weird. But I'm guessing from what you said, it's the idea that they've done a full dive. And so they've actually left their bodies. They don't actually have either their body thinks it's died, they've been taken off to hospital, or they have sped up to the same speed as the computer AI, and so they're experiencing time dilation.
The alternative. So one, I partway through episode 4. But I had a headache and I couldn't keep watching it. One thing that we do know is that the devs are still actually working on the game, right? So while they're in the world, stuff is being fixed that they are finding as bugs, and it's interesting in that regard. But at the same time, it's just like, well, how the fuck are you compiling a whole new version of the game that's supposed to be running on this? It's I don't understand how that would work. But again,
it's technology. It's future technology. So you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Anyway,
right.
Let's move on.
Xeno doesn't believe in future technology.
Well, that's where the AI live.
Yeah.
Right. I am going to move on to the biggest earworm of 2024, which is do I dare say it in Japanese? It's my dear friend Nokotan. It's Shikanoko Koshitantan. Yeah, and this show is a curse on the internet. A curse that all weebs must have. It's inflicted. They are taking a wisdom save every episode. This that comes out of this show.
2d6 psychic damage.
Save. Yeah, and you are left dumber and richer for this show. This show is a culmination of Azumanga Daioh meets
Nichijou?
no, that's
He hasn't
basically the
seen
same
that.
thing. No, it's just basically the same show. I haven't seen. Well, I've watched an unfortunate amount of Azumanga Daioh, but I'd probably say Furikuri, right? This thing is so off. It's so unhinged. It's so off the walls.
Can you even rate it?
Rate it.
Yeah.
Yes, I will rate it. I will rate it, and I'm gonna give it a 3-star acquired taste. Right? It is very much I'd say slice of life comedy, but life is so surreal. It's like, what the hell's even going on? They make hell a lot of cultural references in the show. It is enjoyable. It is quite funny. I feel that they put too much effort potentially in the first episode, and as a result, the subsequent episodes don't hit as hard. But I am enjoying it. It is quite clearly going to be a pop culture thing. Oh, it's like Azumanga Daioh meets Pop Team Epic. There you go. Pop Team Epic being completely unhinged and off the wall. And
What about Good Luck Girl? What about Azumanga Daioh meets Good Luck Girl?
No, that's too hinged.
Too
Needs
hinged.
to be more unhinged, right? And yeah, it's funny, it's contrived, it's just trying to be surreal, and it does a good job. I enjoy it. I genuinely don't know if I'll make it all the way through the whole season. The last episode was a bit boring, but yeah.
Did you at least understand the memes?
What do you mean?
Well, the amount of memes that have come up about this show.
If you don't watch it, how will you understand
them?
The vast majority of the memes of this show specifically come from the intro, and that's it. Right? You know, it's but yeah, aside from that, it's quite funny. It's
merging
it's
it with the teacher from Nichijou that suplexes the deer. That's the other branch of the memes.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
That is
surprised,
genius.
but you know, still, it's again, it's when they do like off the model sort of stuff where it's just like, you know, oh, let's get in. It's not JoJo, it's Fist of the North Star style posing and, you know, animation and stuff like that. Like, again, it's
See, that's what made me think of Good Luck Girl.
But that's Good Luck Girl is silly and fourth wall breaking. This is not that. So anyway,
it's silly and fifth wall breaking.
Yep.
Shikanoko, Koshitantan.
They have a very, very weird obsession with deer crackers.
Yes.
Very weird obsession.
I can imagine.
Oh gosh,
Right.
It's my turn next, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. What
You're not prepared.
I'm not prepared. I wasn't
You're not
prepared for this. Let's do Why Does Nobody Remember Me in This World? Because I can easily scroll to that one.
Okay.
Right, so this is another one that seemed very interesting, but so far is kind of... This is to me right in the middle of the road. This is a nothing special 3-star. It's exciting, you know, but it kind of wishes it was. Remember when I talked about a Returner's Magic should be special? This it was okay, but it wasn't great. This wishes it was that, which is, again, if that wasn't amazing, and this is trying to be that, yeah, it just does it. Just does starts out with a whole bunch of tell don't show, a whole boatload, which is real bad right off the bat. It's because it's got to set up the original world.
Previous story.
Yeah. It's got to set up the original world, all of its history and relationships, and then it's got to change the world to the new version. It's got to rewrite it what do they call it? World reincarnation? Yeah.
Yes.
And so then now it has to set up all of the new stuff where the humans have lost this massive. So there are 5 races. There are celestials, demons, spirits, mythic beasts, and then humans.
Yes.
And in the original timeline, these other races just showed up one day and started a massive war. And
I don't think they just showed up. There was a war.
Sure. It feels like they just kind of showed up one day, but whatever. They never really explicitly say that, so I suppose it could be either way. And in that timeline, so each race has like a hero, a leader, essentially, a general. And in the original timeline, humanity's hero shows up. They call him Prophet Sid, and he wields a magic sword, and he defeats all the other races. Humanity lives in peace. All the races are like sealed away into these weird tombs. And our main character, like when he's a kid, finds one of these tombs, or somehow accidentally gets into one of these tombs, and almost comes in contact with Sid's sword. And now, years later, he's the only one who is left unchanged when the world is reincarnated. And in this new reality, humanity has lost the war. The demons essentially rule most of Earth. Some of the other races are still around. They're still kind of fighting for control. And humanity has been forced underground, which is really dumb because the human city that they're living in, that's the underground city, is literally right under the noses of the demons. They don't even really attempt to hide the door. It's just like... Yeah. And then, of course, only once our hero shows up with the, with the magic sword and the Chimera girl, who is a mix of all 5 races, apparently, only then do the demons suddenly attack the city. And it's like, this should have happened months, if not years ago.
Lots of times.
Yeah. It feels a lot like a video game. Our main character even has a gun blade when it's not the magic sword. The art style kind of oscillates between pretty decent and kind of meh. So it's not super consistent. I'm pretty sure that the Angel Girl is just our first harem member, and this succubus lady is going to join very soon. There's some
the captain's the first harem member.
Okay, but she hasn't actually joined the harem in the new world. She hasn't actually joined the harem yet.
Yeah, you're right.
There's clearly some kind of weird magitech thing going on, which is why the world changed. The sword he's got is called the Code Holder, or maybe it's the Code Breaker. I think it's been referenced as the Code Breaker as well when he freed the Angel Girl.
Kind of.
Because essentially it can rewrite reality. The second episode is a little better on the tell don't show front. The pacing's all right. It's not bad. It's actually they actually seem to be building up towards something now already. Like they're already in their first major confrontation with the demons. But I also don't really feel any tension in any of it because he's got the Code Holder and the Angel Girl is like supposed to be super OP. Aside from a couple of bits of information, like some of the demon weaknesses, and being from another reality, doesn't really seem like it plays too much into the narrative in any meaningful way. And his special bullets that he keeps using must surely be a rare resource, because he brought them with him, and nobody in this world knows how to make them. But he just keeps using them. We don't know how many he has. We don't know where he keeps getting them from. He just keeps using them.
Nope.
And the attack on Vanessa plays almost exactly like the clock tower test in Returner's Magic.
Here's the question.
Yeah.
Nasuth.
Uh-huh.
Here's a question. Could you see this show doing the world's resurrection multiple times to make the next hero, have won the war? So this time we've got the demons, and so when he defeats the demon's hero,
whatever force is behind this, just
world reset
the world again. Yeah.
you reset the world so that it's now the beasts won the war, and and he's now going to have the angel girl and the succubus girl on his side to face off against the beasts. Something like that. Could you see that happening?
I could definitely see that happening. I don't know if that that is what will happen. It could also just be the case that now that they retake the capital city, they start pushing into other territory because they say that the demons are hold this territory specifically and had most of their forces on the border, holding back. I can't remember who, just one of the other races. So it may be a case that they start slowly taking over this world again, area by area, much like you would in a video game. I'm just saying, feels a lot like a video game.
Yeah. Alrighty. And so...
Oh, what did you rate this, Thaylien? Because you watched this.
I rated it 1 star higher than you did.
So no, yeah, okay. About the same.
Because I like the animation quality a little better than you did.
It's mostly okay. It's just not super consistent is the problem. But I didn't, it's not bad. That wasn't what really knocked it down for me. So yeah, I get that.
All right. So we've gone over on this one. So let's move on quite quickly to no longer allowed in a apart from Xenos because he's been a very good boy. No longer allowed in another world. And
well, you guys can't talk over me because none of you have watched my shit. So
exactly.
Freedom.
So
freedom.
So no longer allowed in a parallel world is an acquired taste 1 star. To me,
I'm shocked
because I am not sure where the heck it's going. So yes, this is funny. This is consistently amusing to me. And I'm enjoying it, but I'm not sure what they're doing with it. I really enjoy the character they've created here. This is the one, as Nasuth questioned, that gives a reason for Trucken. So our show starts out with our main character and his beloved about to commit double Sudoku, and it's. And then a truck shows up and kills them. And it's like the most unexplained thing until he shows up in another world, in a Church of Resurrection, with an elf standing over him, saying, "Welcome to another world, adventurer," kind of like formulaically, as if she's seen a lot of them before. And he says, I'm not an adventurer, I'm just trying to find a place to die. And she checks over his stats, and he's like level 1, he's got no abilities, and he's poisoned currently because he's been eating he's trying to slowly OD on tablets. So he's poisoned.
I thought his it was weird, his skills said poisoned.
Yes, his skill is one of his like his status is. But,
I thought it was
no skills, currently poisoned, what the heck? And she casts detoxify on him, and like, I was trying, and he goes and sits down and like downs half the pill bottle. And he has this weird dark charisma to him. It is the most strange thing that you've ever seen, where he finds a character that is not having a good time, and he's, you could always die. I'm just looking for a place to die. I went through this in my life, and it just meant that my life became more tragic. And for some reason, it just resonates with the character he's talking to and gets them on his side. Some of it's oddly hopeful as well, because, he's like, when somebody realizes they don't want to die, it's like, that's fine too, and actually like saves their life to make sure they don't, and they follow through with the "I want to live" statement. He's just bizarre type of man. They find a coffin, and he's like, I wonder what it's like to sleep in there, and he just goes to sleep, and his companions have to drag him to the next town in the coffin.
Is that what that image
It
earlier
becomes
was,
this-
where the cat girl was yelling,
Yes.
like looked like she was yelling at the coffin? Okay.
Yes, because he's just got it. So I think that one was where because the cat girl's hilarious because she didn't actually say her name, and so he's just named her Tama, and it's stuck. So we don't know what her actual name is. He's just named her Tama, and everyone's calling her Tama. Either way, the only reason he's actually staying alive right now instead of going off and committing Sudoku somewhere is he realizes that his girl Sachan must have come to this world too because Truckun killed her. So they're going around the world to the other three churches where she could have resurrected to find out where she came through, or if she did at all. And he's hopefully going to find her and then commit double Sudoku with her again. See, look, there he is on screen now. He's lying in the coffin. I think he's like, yeah, this must be very comfortable. I'm going to sleep now. This man is weird, and I love him, but I just want to see where the actual rest of the show is going to go. What was your point?
Very strange.
I kind of agree with a lot of your sentiment in the whole thing. I don't necessarily. I felt that the second episode was dragging massively. I don't want the whole show to be nothing but this guy is just trying to off himself, and
no, you're right.
Because it's lazy. It's just Jahi again, but with a different subject matter.
I was thinking,
And that's
"Don't hurt me, my healer." Yeah, that one note joke.
Yeah.
Which is just like, no, come on.
But the weird thing is that it always comes back to him. It always,
Yes.
no matter what the event is, like, they're fighting a dragon, and it comes back to him. They're out shopping, it comes back to him. They're they're doing anything, and no matter what, it's this show would fail the anime equivalent of the Turing test, right? Everything that happens cannot exist without this character.
Yes, but he is the chosen hero.
Well, yeah. Well, no. I mean, actually, to be fair, the priestess turned around and said, "Oh, well, I don't think you are an adventurer at all. So you could just go do whatever the hell you want. I won't bother you." And
But then then his depression turned around and say, well, he's not like all the other heroes that came before him. He's not selfish and self-centered, so I'm going to go make sure he's okay.
but it kind of undermines any potential of character for both the elf priest girl and the cat girl, and it's just like you are only here literally to drag the coffin, and
Yes.
it's just like so much potential.
Well, and occasionally fight the bad guy that pops up because he can't.
Yeah, he finds some way to exist and thus cause him great bodily harm.
I will not forget, though, the first scene where he's picked up by the same monster that's attacked the cat girl, and say, this seems like a great way to die, hanging. And then it tries to leech his life, but unfortunately it leeches his poison and dies instead. Oh.
Yeah. So this is one I'm dropping because I feel like this is just becoming another Jahi. I hate the fact that Jahi's become the
Standard.
No. The way we judge everything. There's got to have been a
Actually, I think,
Jahi
personally, I
prior
think
to
Don't Hurt
Jahi.
Me is worse than Jahi, but you haven't seen it, so you can't.
It's not so iconic.
Yeah. Also, I just remembered that somebody in the audience suggested for the podcast version that we repeat the title of the show at the end of the reviews. So that was No Longer Allowed in Another World.
Yeah, and just don't.
Outrageous.
Just don't.
Who suggested that?
I don't. I think it was either Racer. I don't remember, but yeah.
It was. Right. Okay.
Next,
It's a good question. I think I'm going to go with 2.5D Dimensional Seduction. Right. Geez, what do I want to rate this? Probably a 3-star acquired taste. What?
This looks like it was done by the same studio that did Returner's Magic, based on the hair.
Not a clue. But, I mean, the studio will flip around in a minute, but I don't know who did Returner's Magic.
Neither do I.
So, this is JC stuff. So, this is getting a lot of flack off of the internet, because this is supposed to be uncensored My Dress Up Darling, right? I didn't know this until I was 3 episodes in, but people are complaining because, you know, we're them tiggle biddies, you know, and it's like, well, I don't really care about that. This is a slice of life rom-com that leans into otaku culture. The idea is that our 2 main characters, not the current 2 that are on screen right now, are part of a manga club, and they both have the same obsession with an old magical girl anime, and she wants to cosplay as the character, and she wants him to take photos of her so that she can effectively sell them at conventions, cosplay conventions and things like this. Then introduce childhood friend of the male protagonist, who has, she secretly loves him and shit like this. She has stylized her hair to be that of the character that he loves the most, and he never really picked up on it or anything like that. And you'll see her having the same sort of hair as the wig. We can see the comparison here. You see how they have the same hair?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's because she has
twin ponytails and the bangs.
Effectively, yeah. So, but there's not a whole lot to it. So hijinks ensue. They're trying to determine, do they love each other, so on and so forth. It's only 4 episodes in. I have watched the 4th episode. I'm gonna keep watching this. I am enjoying it, but I could see this falling flat at the 6th episode mark.
I think the fact that it's got a love triangle going on instantly lowers it, in my opinion.
That's fair.
That's usually just played out for cheap drama in the end.
That's fair. I mean, they've only really touched upon it in 1 episode so far. But it really depends on what they do with it. Right now, it's being really heavy on the slice of life. So, which is nice. They don't spend too much time focusing on the school stuff thus far. But it could go either way, really. I'm enjoying it. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I'm going to keep going with it.
Fair enough.
So unless you have any... Animation is pretty good as well. The animation, JC staff have done some really questionable animation stuff in the past. This is surprisingly high caliber for them.
Yeah. I laugh because I know exactly where the Tiggle biddies have gone.
What?
I laugh because you asked where the Tiggle biddies have gone, or the audience is asking where the Tiggle biddies... I know where they've gone. I'll talk about it later.
Oh, okay. So yeah, let's move on to your show.
Yes, let's go ahead and do Tasuuketsu, Fate of the Majority, which I have seen compared online to Squid Game. It is not Squid Game. Just because it's a not a battle royale, but similar. What's the name of those? Death Game. Just because it's a death game doesn't mean it's like Squid Game. Okay, all right, internet, calm your boobies. Calm the calamity that is your memories. Right, so I gave this a lot of nothing specials on my list. This is a nothing special 3-star again, right in the middle.
Yeah.
Just so it's another sort of battle royale, death game with powers, but they don't all get powers. Only certain people who find these. Sometimes they're called. I swear, they're originally called privileges, and then they're called rights. Yeah, go ahead, Zeno.
I want to interrupt you. So when they find the Egyptian god cards.
Yes, when they find the Egyptian god cards. And so like some of them are like so there are two different types. There's a regular right and a prime right. A regular right can be resisted by other people if they focus enough, but a prime right is impossible to resist. So like one of the characters has the prime right of refusal, which means he can, like, if somebody tries to kill him, he can just be like, I refuse. He literally just breaks the rules and nothing can touch him. This guy with the gun on screen right now, he's got a right of, I don't remember what it's called, but essentially any object he gets, he can return to that original state. So the gun he finds essentially has infinite ammo because he just replenishes the bullets inside of it. So far, it doesn't seem like characters are smart only because everyone else is written dumb. However, that could very easily change, and it doesn't mean that the characters are the things they come up with are great. It just means it doesn't feel like they're written smart because everyone else is dumb. And in fact, it very annoyingly holds back on details specifically to the audience. So the characters know things, but they keep the audience in the dark because, it's an easy way for them to drum up mystery, right? So like at the end of one of the episodes, there's a kid, one of the kids is talking to the other one. He's like, I'll tell you everything I know. Isn't elaborated on. The immediate next scene is just those two splitting up.
Would you say that that's because any plan that's actually read out loud on screen never works, where every plan they don't reveal on screen actually does work?
No, because their plans still don't work.
Fair enough.
So the in episode 1 the powers are called privileges, but in episode 2, which explains kind of how this all started, goes. So episode 1 starts us in the middle of things a bit, and then episode 2 kind of goes back and explains how it started. In that one they're called rights. So which is it, rights or privileges? And so I feel like that's a bit of a
AI
floppy writing
trend.
Yeah, could be that too. It does make a few. So the art style is not bad at all. It's not super amazing, but it's very solid, sort of shonen, thick lines, lots of shadows, that sort of thing. But it does make some interesting choices, like how everyone who dies on the first day doesn't have. They have no color into them. They're just gray outlines. Well, I mean, they've got like detail, like they've got eyes and hair and everything and all that, but they just have no color to them. And I thought that was kind of an interesting way to show off that these characters are unimportant. And then when you see them all dead later, they're still just gray bodies. The plan that plays out in the 3rd episode to expose the traitor among them, because they already know there's a traitor among them, somehow, was alright. But it still suffers from some of the other issues that I was talking about. Once again, I forgot to start the timer, but that's really about all I have to say about it. It's just... they're already breaking up into factions. We've got our main heroes from the one school that they all attended, and then there's another group that is clearly evil, but the traitor wasn't part of that group. So there are at least 3 groups operating. No, 4. There are 4 groups operating. So we're already getting into that sort of thing. I don't know.
Only 3 episodes in. Jeez.
Only 3 episodes in. Yeah.
So
it's interesting.
Are you planning to keep on?
unless I take Ossan and Elusive Samurai, I think I would probably drop Bye Bye Earth and...
Well, you're already down a 5 without dropping anything.
Well, I also need to pick NieR back up. So that would be 6. Yeah. Yeah, I can't really afford to drop too much. I'm tempted to stick with them anyway, just to see if they get any better, because you never know when the trash might end up good.
No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works at all. Once you start going downhill, it's always just downhill.
Yeah.
Sadly.
I don't think it's as bad as Battle After 5 Seconds or... Oh gosh, what was that other one I watched a few seasons back? With the weird, like, mascot character. Anyway.
Oh, shit.
Tomodachi Game. Yes. That one was awful. So this is better than both of those. Which is saying something.
But it's still a fucking death game.
Yeah, I mean, Squid Game was alright, but
Squid Game was really good. Squid Game was really, really good.
But this is not Squid Game.
Yeah, I mean, Squid Game was 10 years in the making.
Yeah. Anyway.
Alrighty. So, I'm going to move on to Plus Size Elf. And now
don't worry, all our pictures,
because
all our pictures are from the censored
I can't believe
version.
it's not hentai. Okay. So, the actual rating is going to be a nothing special 3-star.
And after all the hype we did on Kanpai News.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have its good charms. So, I accidentally watched because I didn't realise that there was a censored and uncensored version. I watched the uncensored version. So people beware, there is an uncensored version out there.
Sure,
and,
accidentally.
This is where all the Tigol biddies went. So, the general premise of this is that there is just a really easy portal between another world and ours. It's told entirely on the side of our world, and we're actually following a young man who works for a health and well-being clinic, where there's like a massage parlor and they give advice on losing weight and healthy living. But the main protagonists are the characters from another world, the elves, the ogres, the Alrone, who are magical world people who have come here for to experience a different life. Our titular elf, the plus-size elf, came here because elves in their world are all vegetarian. They're just because they don't want to eat meat so much. They want to kill things, and unfortunately, they're really bland. So she heard about fried potato here. She heard about French fries and chips and all these things, and she decided to come on over and try some. And they are now her whole world. She loves French fries to the point that she's gained so much weight. And it turns out that the portal, the only requirement that to use it to go back and forth, is that you are the same weight you were both ways. That's it. So it's like a conservation of mass thing. So
that's pretty clever, right?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
So there's not really anything else to that. She just has to get back to her own weight if she wants to go home for a bit.
Interesting.
And so that's it. That's what the whole first episode is about.
It's like not being able to ride in an airplane because you need to buy 2 seats.
Yes. So we meet the elf. We meet the two guys that work at the clinic, and we follow her for the full episode of her losing weight, being able to put her back on her old clothing, and go back through the portal. And then our guy saying, you know what? All this talk about French fries, I think I'll try some. It's been months. goes into a fast food place, sits down, and next to him is the elf who has managed to eat herself chubby again.
Oh my god.
Because she only went home to get more money and come back.
Oh my god!
So that she could, eat again. And she said, the one thing I've learned from this is I can lose weight. So that means I can keep eating French fries because I can lose the weight again.
Oh my god!
But you add more characters on,
not
so
wrong.
you add more characters on. There's a dark elf that's you can see her on screen. She's a dark elf that's working at a convenience store because she just wants to have a change of pace and earn a bit of money on this side of things. And she's actually using her dark magic to summon minions to stock the shelves for herself. But she can only do it while wearing the magic enhancing gear, and her ass is too fat. So the earlier elf stops in, and so does the guy from the clinic when they stop in for a break, and they meet each other, and he actually starts giving legitimate advice. And she learns how to take control of, she's standing all day for her job, so she learns how to do a few exercises that can help tone her lower body down a bit. But of course, because she's a dark elf, the light elf does not get on with her, and there's a constant rivalry, calling each other names, and of course, whenever they get overexcited and bend over slightly to shout, the back of clothing splits, or a shirt gets pulled up over a tubby belly. It keeps going. There's the Alrona girl here who has a flower on her head. She's a plant. Wow.
Hold on,
loud. That's a tiny penis driving past. Anyway,
give it a hot sec. No, wait, hold on. Can you say that part again? Because basically it distorted your bass so massively.
Wow. Yeah, that was, I don't know what that, I think that was a very loud motorbike. Anyway, so you get an Alrona girl, who's a plant, and so she doesn't follow the same kind of dietary things as everybody else. And she's getting really slow because her flower is getting bigger and bigger and bigger in the amount of sunshine she's getting in the plant, in the shop she's running. And so, as it stands, he's able to actually stop, think about how he would deal with it if it was actually her, if she was his patient, and so he's able to chat with her, talk, give us a different stuff for her plants, and then gives her a black umbrella so that when she's outside she can shade herself, and therefore not overindulge on sunlight and grow a flower too big and heavy, and so she gets her posture back. They go to the fish market because the elf can actually eat fish, she just doesn't because of that, things killing people. And they run into a mermaid girl who's come on land because she's, just likes the experience of the working there and being around other people. And she's got bingo wings, she's got really flabby arms. And he's able to identify, no, actually, it's probably down to muscle mass rather than fat. You're not doing enough with your arms. You're always swimming with your tail. So if you start doing these exercises and helping the blood circulation back, that'll clear up. And it's actually helping these people. It's a really body positive thing of, you don't have to be upset with your size as long as you're willing to do something about it. All these things you might find detrimental if you've got a really muscular body, if you've got a really flabby body, you've got too much weight in one area and not enough in another. But I will warn everybody, if you do watch the uncensored version, there is just casual nudity, tiggle bitties everywhere in this. Heck, just to prove that what really amused me, the mermaid girl, it says she can go back to being a mermaid at any time, so she literally just strips off her shorts and shows them the mermaid tail, transforms back. But the elf says, but aren't mermaid tears have to, you have to distill them in a special way to make the potion to turn itself back? No, but I found this this spice, and it's literally just this health drink. And if I drink this, it gives me 5 hours of human legs, no problem. And it's literally just some
5-hour energy.
one of these. No, not energy. No, it's literally just some actual healthy plant extract.
Sort of thing. Okay,
No, just plant extract, but usually distilled, and it's quite well known in Japan for being
right.
Okay, the thing where there was the frozen wheat or wheat germ or whatever it was, where it has all the nutrients you need from plants in like a shot, right?
Okay.
Same kind of principle. It's just like all these nutrients in a single shot bottle, but of course the human body doesn't need all of its nutrients in one go.
Yeah.
So it's kind of pointless. But hey, it works. It turns from a mermaid into human. It's a very wholesome show. Lots of titties, but very wholesome. I'm definitely watching the rest of this. Oh, and it's super short as well. It's 10-minute episodes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, worth the time.
There you go. That's plus size elf.
I will move on to VTuber Legend. Which
bears no resemblance to Brutal Legend with Jack Black as the star.
No, not quite. I can't remember the full title of this. It's very, very long, but it's shorthand as VTuber Legend. And I'm gonna give this a 1-star acquired taste. I'm still watching it. It has a lot of potential, but it's not going to be for everyone. The animation is okay. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. The whole premise is basically an office worker who has quit her day job, ultimately decides, I'm going to become a VTuber, which is like all the big sensation right now. And she's struggling. She's struggling out as she's starting out and everything. She's struggling, and she thinks that she has actually quit her stream and everything, but it turns out software crashed and it's still running in the background. And she cracks open a beer. So she swaps over to watching some of her other VTuber colleagues, part of the same organization, because effectively, if you don't know, VTubers are like idol agencies in Japan, right? So you have an agency who basically endorse different VTubers, so on and so forth. They will ultimately graduate out at some point in time, but the persona of that character then sort of like ceases to exist. You can't take the character with you unless you're a specific studio, like some of the idol groups, of the. I think VShojo lets you keep the IP.
Is a very good one. They're just more of a sponsorship thing where we'll help you get your gigs, get your engagement and everything else. We just take out the money. You can do what the heck you like.
But with like HoloLive and things, HoloLive is very closed off, and so you can't interact with anyone that's not already part of HoloLive, not in a public sense. And when you leave HoloLive, your character basically goes to VTuber heaven, right? And this is kind of like the story of what it's like for someone who's starting to aspire to become a VTuber. So again, as I said, she starts off, she thinks she's turned off her stream, she cracks open a beer, and she starts listening or watching her colleagues and things from the same agency, and she doesn't realize she's live, and she says like she cuts loose, right? She's like, oh, I love this person, I love it when they're doing ASMR and crap like this. And after several hours, she eventually wakes up.
Things that nobody actually says out loud to themselves outside of a TV show.
Outside of being completely and utterly shit-faced drunk, yes, right. So she wakes up eventually to her phone ringing. She answers the phone, and on the other side it says, "Don't say anything. Listen carefully to what I tell you. Do what I say. Don't say a word." Right? And it was her manager saying, like, go to your machine and kill your streaming platform because it's still streaming right now. Right? And she does it, and they explain the whole situation. But because she's done this, because this has happened to her, she's blown up. Right? She's everyone loves the fact that she's become completely candid when she's drunk. Right, so then she proceeds to start doing every stream with a beer in hand and everything, and she gets more involved with her peers and things. Like her colleagues start appearing more on her streams as well as in her chat and things. But the thing that really made me crease laughing is in the second episode. They have her play Getting Over It by Bennett Foddy. An actual video game, right? If you're watching, you can actually see, like, we got stills and things. This is actually done with Live 2D, right? These characters are done with Live 2D, which is the actual software that a lot of VTubers actually use to do what they do on screen and things. So it's really interesting. The way that they have done this is very true to form. One thing I don't like about the show is the fact that the characters look like their VTuber personas, right? So when she's dressed up like the princess, when she's out and about in the streets and things, she looks like the princess. But this is a matter of perception. It's all about how people perceive them. They are not that person when they're out and about in the streets. And I kind of wish that the narrative would touch upon that as well. That there is some anonymity to them when they're able to navigate amongst the crowds and things. Because they do this thing with the crowds where effectively everyone is a 2D cutout, as if they're like a blank slate and things. So it feels really off that you have these very whimsical VTuber personas walking around the streets when there is literally just a character, a grey cutout from traffic lights, or it feels off. That's realistically my only criticism. This has a lot of potential to going a lot further, but at the same time, it could just circle itself a lot and not really do anything with this, like the canvas that is VTubing.
Yeah.
So
I don't
understand your problem. This is exactly what I look like when I go out in public.
Fuck you, man. Shut up.
Yes. But you know how they could spice this up? They just bring on Project Melody as a guest voice.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Anyway. But yeah, so that is VTuber Legend.
Nice.
All right.
All right, let's do Shy Season 2. I thought it was Part 2, but everywhere I'm looking says Season 2, so I guess it's Season 2.
Part 2.
Yeah, it may be one of those things where, like, everywhere in the West is labeling it Season 2, but it's actually Part 2. I don't know.
Okay.
Either way, I'm a little tiny bit disappointed in this season so far. I gave season 1 a must-watch 1. This is down to an acquired taste 4. So obviously, quality still there. Still loving a lot of it. The relationships are still on point, but it's just not the way that it feels like it's slowed to an absolute halt after the peak of last season. Right? We had that one denouement episode after the peak of last season, and now we've had 3 more episodes of just like, there's one episode that's basically just a recap. I mean, but it's kind of a recap in as much as it's reintroducing you to all the heroes, but they're doing, they're doing actual things in the world now, not just like seeing things that they've already done.
This is what makes me think it is in fact a season 2, because they wouldn't reintroduce them like this for just a part 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, it's been so long since part 1 that they might. Wouldn't be the first time I've seen that sort of thing happen. it also kind of reminds people of Shai's ability to connect with others on a different level because of her social anxiety. She sees things that, she sees things in a way that other people don't normally, and so that means that she can see things inside of other people that they don't necessarily see themselves. It even kind of gives us a peek at the bad guys and what they're doing, I guess, but that doesn't really come to fruition until the very end of episode 3. Like, we get a little peek at them, and then that's it. And it's almost exclusively done with Show Don't Tell. Really nice. Got to give them huge props for Show Don't Tell.
Yes.
And then it's ninjas. 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 Did you like ninjas?
Yes.
We got ninjas.
They got ninjas.
No, they introduce in episode 2 this girl, I can't remember her name, and she's carrying around what looks initially like just a boken, just a wooden katana. In her case, you can see the case there in her back.
Yes.
And in the process of chatting with her, they sort of become friends. It's Shai, Momijimia, whatever her name is.
Yes.
And her best friend / maybe girlfriend Iko, yeah. And then this girl. And they all kind of become friends, just talking with each other before a ninja shows up. And the ninja's like, I gotta take you back to the village. You gotta come back to the ninja village with us, Princess I. And then she unleashes her katana and slashes, knocks him off the
cliff.
Yeah. But it super weakens her, and so they have to, anyways, Zeno, you have your hand up.
Yeah, so I've done a bit of looking up, and even though everywhere is saying this is Shai Season 2, the episode count goes from episode 13.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, that is a fair point.
It is really interesting how, and I thought to myself, well, is this just
happened before,
a weird...
though.
Yeah, and typically the reason why you get, it goes from episode 13 is because it's a core, not it's a core / part, not a full-blown season.
Yeah.
Right? So, again, and I was wondering when you said about the whole recap and things like that.
I think this happened
reintroducing things.
I think this happened with Mushoku Tensei Season 1 too, where
and 2.
No, I mean specifically Season 1 Part 2. Everywhere was calling it Season 2. I think it was that one, but it was in fact
I think it was
Season
one of them,
Part 2.
Yeah, and then we actually got Season 2.
Yes.
So I never finished Shai Season 1, right?
Yeah.
Or
good finish
core one
to that season. Yeah, good finish to that core. Big thing. You should probably watch that.
You think? Well, a part of me is wondering, should I just wait for the whole thing to come out and then
binge it all?
especially considering that this is core 2 of season 1.
Yeah.
Right. So does it feel like
core 1 does have a good solid ending to it, where they defeat the initial attack by Amariraku, and then we sort of solidify the relationship between Iko and Momijimiya. Momijimiya. I can't remember her name properly.
Momijimiya.
Yes, that one. I'm just going to call her Shai.
This guy's adorable. I like him.
Yes, this guy's amazing. Anyway. So there's a U.S. military guy who seems all super gruff and tough until there are kids around, and then he's like, hey! But
back to my point.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Should I wait until the whole thing's out, or should I just watch Core 1 now and then, how should I
tell you at the 6th episode?
Okay, so just wait for now.
Core 1 has a nice solid ending, so if you wanted to watch it now, you could.
Yes.
But if you want to watch it all, I would say
does this
given that these first 3 episodes have been super slow, I would say wait.
Okay. Does this feel like it's continuing anything from Core 1?
Yes. We've got Iko and Shai's relationship. We've got Amariraku on the move, and
the
Stop and jump,
other
got it.
heart shift people we've met have also. You can see the continuation of where they were at the end of the last core.
Yes,
Yes,
and how
stuff
and how
and jump,
Shy has
got
kind
it.
of changed them. So the ninjas, it's kind of cool because it seems like they may have a power similar to heart shifting, which I think is interesting. Like it gives the idea of, is heart shifting the only way to access the, are the rings the only way to access this power? But yeah, I just it's still really heartwarming and everything, but I really need the pace to pick up. After
Right.
first season, I do not need 3 episodes of super slow pace before we start getting more cool actiony stuff again. I love the relationships,
Oddly
but they're
enough.
already established.
Oddly enough, I felt that the first core was fucking slow as shit. So
Yeah, it is until it picks up with Amaritaku's attack at the end, and that I wanted to keep that kind of. I didn't mind the denouement episode after that because it's good to have that kind of lull, but it's going on too long now. It's
right. Let's
anyway. That's enough of that.
much like this review. Yeah,
that was Shy. Part 2, season part 2, part 1, season 2, season 1, part 2. It was a thing.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, let's go on to the random one, which is Isekai Suicide Squad.
Go on then, Thaylien.
Okay.
Definitely anime.
So this one is a nothing special 5-star because they're putting the effort in, but so far it isn't actually anything beyond what I've seen from the DC stuff already.
Okay.
Okay, so this is Suicide Squad. People that don't know, it's a spin-off from the DC Comics seasons, and where the villains are taken out of Bel Rev prison, have explosives put in the back of their neck, and are told to go on a mission by Amanda Waller, who is the one of the top dogs in the comic book world security councils. And in this case, they have opened up a portal to another world. Okay, and we get a glorious scene of Amanda Waller standing proud, watching it all happen as the portals opened up. And there's a very not so subtle reference to the fact it's being opened by somebody with a power, and they are inducing this to happen by basically torturing her. But we never see that person. We just see like the readouts and the humanoid shape on the thing as the red line is reached.
It's a very Amanda Waller thing to do, yeah.
Yep. So, in this, we are following Harley Quinn, Deadshot, King Shark, Clayface, and Peacemaker. Okay. As they are picked up and thrown into the other world. And there's some great characterization about them, I have to admit. So, you meet Harley as she and Joker are pulling a heist, and Joker's driving a car by playing a piano in the front seat. That's how the music is what's driving the car. He's pressing the keys to turn, and he's playing a jaunty song as they're escaping. It is really weird seeing Joker anime-fied because he's got a small mouth and small and anime eyes, and the makeup doesn't make him look kind of, but not. It is very much a pretty boy Joker. Anyway, so Harley's caught by Katana, who's from who's one of the good guys in Suicide Squad, and they're all taken out, shipped to this other world. But as they get there, the ship crashes, and the helicopter crashes, and they're thrown into the middle of what is an ongoing battle between a group of magic-wielding elves and humans, and some very, very ugly pig-like orcs, and which the Suicide Squad's proceed to take apart in no uncertain terms, using their special skills of fighting really, really well, and King Shark just eating them. But instead of being welcomed as conquering heroes, they're all thrown in prison. Again,
Wait. They're thrown in prison in the Isekai world?
in the Isekai world.
Yes, by the
So
elder
there is a
humans.
constant threat. So there's a constant threat of the for the Suicide Squad that if they go 72 hours without checking in with home base, there's a timer and the bomb in their neck and they'll just explode regardless.
Question. Sorry.
Yes.
Clarification. Where is home base? Is
Somewhere
that actually
in the Isekai world. Yeah, that's back. They have to receive a radio signal from Earth, from Amanda Waller's base, somewhere. They don't know where it is. They're currently in prison, and they're escaping prison with the help of Rick Flag, who was actually there beforehand. He's sent on an earlier mission with an earlier Suicide Squad.
Okay.
And so he knows where home base is, and he's got to get them back to it if they want to survive.
No, because their helicopter crashed, they didn't go to home base. If their helicopter hadn't crashed, they probably would have gone to home. Because I can see you're like, why don't they know where home base is? This seems very important information for them to have.
Yeah.
But I think it's because they weren't told, and the helicopter wasn't supposed to crash.
It was more a case of like, why didn't they teleport to home base? Like, why didn't they set up the home base around the
portal? Who knows where the portal? Like, maybe it was at random spots.
If the portal is home base, they're going out there to establish like beachheads in this other world.
Right. Okay.
And their handler, who had a device that could check in and reset their timers, died in the crash.
Of course. That's how that happens.
There's some interesting things going on, but at the moment it's just Suicide Squad in a weird place and people reacting to them. So, for example, the princess of the kingdom of elves and humans looks exactly like Harley Quinn.
Of course she does.
Yes. So that's a thing, but we haven't made anything of it yet. Magic is a thing in this world, and so there is hints that they are all getting powers enhanced by magic. So Clayface is the one that figures it out first, because he can only manipulate the clay that is his body.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden in this world, he can manipulate clay that isn't part of his body. So you get wet rock around, he can turn it into clay and manipulate it. So that comes into play later on.
It's not how clay works, but okay.
And, Harley starts glowing and then superhero strikes somebody with a baseball bat into the ceiling. It's that kind of thing. They're getting more and more powerful.
Finally, they're a threat to Superman.
Possibly. So, yeah. No, I've got to give it the nothing special, but 5-star for the production work, the voice work, the effort they're putting into it, especially with the characterization. But until it picks up, until it actually does something, I'm close to dropping this one.
So as we all know, in the West, DC's animated stuff is generally speaking top tier. Way
better than their live action.
Oh God, like no question. Does this rise to that level?
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
At least there's that.
Yes.
Cool. Well, that was Suicide Squad then.
Suicide Squad. Isekai.
Okay, moving on to one that I was again surprised by, which is Dungeon People. So this is a production by both the same people that did I Parry Everything, but also they did Apothecary Diaries. Yeah. The series is surprisingly good and not reliant on high quality animation. So it's not like high fidelity animation. That's a better way of saying it. There's a lot of like plain environments, but at the same time, it's a very novel premise. I will give this a 4-star acquired taste. Right? And the idea of the show is basically we have a adventurer who is going around and she's soloing the dungeon, as someone who's been trained heavily for years by her father to basically go it alone, right? He doesn't trust anyone, so because again you can get stuff like infighting and things between party members, and as a result, things can go south fast. He kind of talks from a place of experience. So she is trained to go alone, and she is trying to find her father. Like one day years ago, he just upped and disappeared, leaving her a note and a dagger, like, this weapon will help you and things. So at the start of the series, we see her, I think she's on level 9 of the dungeon. She's going along, and she encounters like various different things like goblins and stuff, and kills them. But she then comes across a satyr with a battle axe, right? And during the fight, it charges up, it rages out, and it throws the battle axe, and it hits the wall behind her, demolishing the wall, revealing a room that looks like a bedroom. And the blue-haired girl that's currently on screen, she sticks her head through the door and discovers what's happened, and she is the administrator of the dungeon. So basically, we've seen the back rooms of the dungeon, and our main characters.
They're not yellow and dark.
No, they're not yellow and dark and creepy as all hell with eerie music. Humans aren't meant to see this, right? So our main character kind of goes along with her. They repair the wall and everything, and they kind of reset and everything. And our main character is explained like this, it gets explained to her like this is the situation.
So, and essentially, this explains why in all the other anime, it's like, oh, the dungeon has respawned all these, you can just keep hunting in this same dungeon because it just respawns enemies and loot and stuff. It's because of people like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's the premise that they're going on. But effectively, they the administrator ends up hiring her as sort of like a personal assistant to help get on top of everything. So they have the ability to rearrange the dungeon. They actually kind of effectively, even though she's human, turn her into a monster. They give her a temporary body and attach her soul to a gem which is in the temporary body. So if she dies, the soul is basically returned to the cloning machine, and a new temporary is put into a new temporary body and things like that. It's pretty clever, so that there aren't infinite monsters. It's just a case of all the monsters have temporary bodies,
literally respawning.
Yeah, exactly, right. Again, the dungeon association, like the administration, they work in tandem with a specific guild in various different towns to basically get basic resources, because when humans were coming into the dungeon, they were barely getting past level 3 or 4, and it's a case of, right, we need to basically gear up these adventurers so that they're not getting themselves killed. We need to educate the adventurers, so they'll actually get things like bags of holding. If you're familiar with D&D, bigger on the inside, right? They get bags of holding, and they will actually supply the bags of holding from the dungeon to the Adventurers Guild, so the adventurers aren't going in ill prepared. So it's a very whimsical way of looking at all of this, and the animation does not look special at all, right? But the novelty of the premise is surprisingly high, right? It keeps you on your toes the entire time, and so you saw one screenshot, if you are watching, there was a screenshot of basically there's the skeleton with an astral projection of the girl behind the skeleton, and it's basically she is remote controlling the skeleton, and she ends up fighting adventurers on level 7, and kind of kicks their ass and things like this. It's just like, that skeleton should be able to do that thing. And you got a lich that's like, you know, with the skeleton going like, I didn't know we could do that. So it's a very, very interesting series, and it's a surprise for me. I was, you know, really shocked by how much I'm enjoying this. So I would recommend this to people. There you go.
That was Dungeon People.
Yep.
I'm sort of similarly surprised by my last one, for different reasons though, which is how to become ordinary. And on the surface, this feels like, you know, it should be kind of a generic rom-com kind of high school thing, right?
Yeah.
But and which is not at all something I would go in for. And yet, I have given this an acquired star 3 taste. Acquired taste 3 star. What is wrong with my brain today? But also because like it's only 3 episodes, I can't really get a full handle on it. That's just where I land right now, because there's something strangely captivating about it. The character introductions in the very beginning are a bit clunky. They kind of say things to each other that they should already know, but we, the audience, need to know. But, you know, that's at the very beginning. They get away from that pretty quickly. It's very well animated. This is actually a collaboration, it seems like, between Production IG and Lapin Track. I can't remember what Lapin Track has done. There were some pretty good things on that list.
I'll look it up.
But also some really weird experimental choices. So essentially the premise is these 2 characters, there's a boy and a girl. They were both a little weird in middle school. They were seen as a little weird for different reasons. And they've decided that for their high school career, they want to be just completely ordinary. They just want to blend into the background. They want to get through high school without being thought of as the weird kids. Which is, you know, if you've been a weird kid, you can probably kind of relate a little bit.
I definitely can't. No, never.
But they keep getting drawn into these weird little mysteries. So, in the first episode, a girl's purse goes missing, essentially, and there's a guy that, like, I think he likes her, maybe, and as a result, he ends up calling on our main character to come help search the school for it. And this ends up uncovering a little mystery where we find out that one of the boy that likes her actually took it to hide a note inside. But before he could put it back, it was discovered missing. And so the way they figure this out is that, well, I don't really want to give it away. Ooh, I know what Lapin Trap did. They did Undead Murder Farce.
They also did the recap movie of Penguin Drum. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
No idea what that is. Yeah,
it's pretty famous, but yeah.
So this is another case of, much like in Undead Murder Farce, all the pieces for these little mysteries are given to you ahead. You know, you can see them before he puts the deductions together. But they're all relatively simple mysteries. Like in the second one, it was, how did they go to visit the guy that got them involved in the first case in episode 2, and he gives them some hot cocoa, and he explains how to make the hot cocoa really good. And then we find out that his sister is annoyed because she can't figure out how he did it using only 3 cups and a spoon, and that was it. Because the idea is that you heat up the milk, you pour a little bit into a glass, and you mix the powder in until it's nice and pasty, and then you put more hot milk in there, right? So you'd think in order to do this, you would need, in order to serve 3 people hot cocoa and 1 glass to warm the milk up in, you would need 4 glasses. But you only use 3. And so they end up going through this logically, step by step, and figure it out. And even though it's a super simple, mundane mystery, there's something really compelling about it that just draws me in. And I'm not sure
the delivery of it.
Yeah. This is also where they make their experimental choices. So, you'll see them talking, and they're in the kitchen. But as they're talking, because their minds are wandering, the animation literally has like them in different locations as they're talking, almost like they're wandering with their minds. It's weird. But there is also kind of an overarching mystery going on too, where the girl gets her bike, somebody steals the girl's bike, and then later they find it, and they're trying to like, now they want to get revenge on the guy who stole it and essentially broke it. He broke the bike, and it was also involved in potentially involved in a crime. So like they want to teach him a lesson, and that's the setup for the next episode. So we'll see where that goes. But I like that they're actually solving these mysteries in a clever way. All the hints are there for you if you really care about it. I like to put it together before they do. And yeah, it's just really fun. Oh, right. So my last point here, I'm not sure, but there may be a message going on that fitting in is a terrible idea, and you should be yourself.
Right.
Maybe.
Well, that's a given, regardless.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So let's round this up. Last one.
Sorry, let me just. That was how to become ordinary.
Yes. All right. So let's round this up with my last one: Wistoria, Wand and Sword. And this is this week's
Harry Potter
acquired taste 5-star.
Nice.
So this is a much toned down kind of idea that Marshall did for comedy. We have a world where it seems to be that there was something horrifically oppressive going on in their world to do with the atmosphere. So storms and death came from the sky. So in their world, a giant tower was set up, and at the top of it, their 5 greatest mages cast a spell of protection that gives them blue skies and artificial lighting from this massive spell that covers their surrounding, their world, as it were. And it's only from the top of the tower that you could probably see where the sunset is. And our hero, our protagonist, he and his best friend, when they were little, believed that they would climb the tower by becoming one of the 5 mages that preserves the world, called the Magia Vanda. They would become Magia Vanda together and see the sunset from the top of the tower together. So this is the goal of quite a lot of people in their world. There's a big school to learn how to master magic and writing and research of their world, the basic magic principles and things. And if you are approved by the school, you can move on to being a staff member in the tower. If you're approved by the staff members in the tower, you can rise up the ranks until you are counted as one of the 5 best mages, the Magia Vanda. And meanwhile, there is also, under their city, a dungeon. Kind of like, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? So the tower goes one way, the dungeon goes the other. And our hero, there's actually a lovely little thing on the eye catch halfway point moments in an episode, where it does a little splash screen talking about the person, their skills, and there's a little stat for our hero, say dungeon level reached, and there's a scratched out number and then 7 next to it, right? And a little note on the bottom saying edit made to this sheet by the character's teacher. So you're like, oh, okay, something's a bit weird there. In this world, mages are everything. People who can't use magic obviously don't stand a chance against a well-trained mage. There was a historical war where 10,000 dwarves fought against a single mage, and only their greatest champion managed to land one single hit. And so a place was named after that dwarven leader for being able to land a hit on a mage. And in a tragic turn of events, our main character can't use magic. He is a warrior, and I mean that in like the fantasy warrior sense. He has got amazing strength, amazing speed, amazing visual acuity. You put a sword in his hand, and he even has the reactions to cut through magic where it's weakest. So if somebody fires a magic bolt at him, he can slice it in half to nullify it. Or if they have a shield up, he can position himself to find the weak point of it, launch something at it and smash through the shield. Okay? He is a warrior in a world where everybody else is a mage and looks down on him for it. Meanwhile, his best friend became a Magiavanda at like age 16. His best friend not only is super talented, she's created 12 new types of magic since she started her schooling and has become one of the Magiavanda. So he's trying to reach her, and he's got a very few people on his side, and everybody else considers him talentless and no chance of getting through the school because he can't do a third of the curriculum. Still, he's a nice little kid, and everyone around him that actually wants to help him are great characters that really pull this through. You have a nice rivalry going off with one of the guys that's there, who is like the best of their class at magic, but our character saved his life in the dungeon, and so every interaction is overshadowed by this poor guy going, but it's not right. How is he so strong? How did he beat that thing that nearly killed me? And it's like recognition despite it, which is really fun. No, so I'm really enjoying this show. I want to see where it's going, and surprisingly, no mentions of Harry Potter.
Loads of mentions of Harry Potter.
I feel like Returner's Magic did this better, but
Well, one thing that I'm very interested in is the fact that AnimeDB only lists this to have 8 episodes. Yeah.
That might be because episode 4 was delayed massively. So it's 2 weeks delayed. So it's only
2 weeks.
Yeah,
oh my god!
It's only just come out today.
It's because of the Olympics.
Well, I mean, according to AniChart, it says that episode 4 is not airing for another. Oh wait, no, this says
it's actually
finished.
We actually covered this in Kanpai News.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. This is weird because AniChart says that it's finished with 4 episodes. I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Yes, Shoshimen and Wistoria anime delayed. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, so there is a massive delay on it, and I'm interested to see where it actually goes.
Do you think it's going to get bumped to next season?
It very well could.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
So, yeah, Wistoria, Wand and Sword.
Okay,
My
then.
personal pick for favourite this season.
Of course, because it's Harry Potter.
I don't know, the fact that they're all like prodigies kind of turns me off a little bit. But
no, that's not all prodigies. Just
to be honest, I've heard a lot of good things about this one. So, right, should we move on to my last one?
Yes, let's get this over with.
Goyle.
Cool,
or
right.
Crab?
What?
Is it absolutely Goyle, or are you Crab?
I have no idea what you're talking about. It sounds like some inane Harry Potter crap. Right, so let's move on to Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. I'm inclined to give this. Okay, don't hit it yet. I'm thinking about giving this a 1-star must-watch, maybe even a 2-star must-watch. I don't think that's fair.
You should have made up your mind before now.
Shush you. I'm gonna give this a 5-star acquired taste. Alright. This show is a slice of life rom-com. It's quite funny. It kind of says what it is in the title. The whole premise is basically that we have our main character, who's Alya. She and her older sister came to Japan because I think they have a Japanese father, and they came to Japan years ago. And Alya's quite a perfectionist. She wants to do the best she can given any situation. We have a flashback moment earlier on, fairly early in the series, where you see her struggling with teamwork, where her group basically can't be bothered to do the assignment when she's in it's not middle school, it's what does Americans call
junior high?
We call
high
it
school?
primary school.
Oh, elementary school.
No, it's not. No, huh?
Elementary school.
Elementary, right? So yeah, so she's in elementary school, and she's doing teamwork with her classmates, and they just basically do absolutely nothing compared to Alya. She just wants to do the best she can, and she kind of draws herself away from just other kids in general. She comes to Japan for middle school, and she meets our main male protagonist, who currently has his back to us on camera, and he kind of proves himself to her by basically, she is doing all the work herself, but he ends up going like, no, this is supposed to be a group exercise. They're preparing for a school festival, and he basically did all the paperwork with the school student council to allow it so that the class could actually spend the night there the day before the actual event, so that they could finish off all their stuff, right? And she was like impressed by this, because she was working herself to not to death literally, but to the point of collapse and things. And she grew to actually appreciate him and like him and things. So, she will actually like confess different things to him in Russian. But there's the thing. He actually knows Russian, right? Because, and this is something I'm actually really impressed with. Turns out that he met her older sister when they were kids, right? And she taught him Russian. So he learned how to speak Russian and things like this. He can't remember who his who the childhood friend was. She does remember, right? The older sister does remember that it's him. He doesn't remember it's her. And it's a very rom-com thing. I like it. I'm genuinely enjoying this. It's a nice surprise. It actually goes somewhere. And again, when she's giving him shit for like, I said you're an idiot, and is like, that's not what you said. I know what you said. I'm not telling you what I know what you said, but I know what you said. But one of my favorite points is really at the start, where he's talking to someone that on his phone is my sister, right? It's like, it's like, dear sister of mine, I think I've discovered that I'm a thigh person, or something like this. And the other person on the other end comes back as like a complete degenerate. So my belief was that this sister was just some degenerate that was on like Discord or some shit like that. Nope, it's his actual biological sister, right? And this is where the meme of it's not wincest if they're not blood related has come about. It's from this show. This show does such crazy shit with the interactions of characters. That's what it likes to play with, the relationships of the characters, and that's why I enjoyed them a lot this season. So yeah, there you go. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. I would recommend people to watch this if they like that kind of thing.
Right, that was Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian, and I think that was our last review. Holy crap!
That was the last one.
We made it, guys.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Only 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Time to drop loads of shows and pick up new ones.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on to the supporter questions.
Ye oldie supporter questions.
So, as Rugal asks, before we start the supporter questions, I want to say we're not sponsored by any company. What?
I somehow didn't get Zrugal's second part of his thing in there.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
We're not we're not sponsored by any company, but we are sponsored by Patreons and you folks at home by liking and subscribing. If you'd like to become a patron and help the channel, you can find the links in the description below, assuming Nasuth adds it. Whereas if it's not there already?
It's not there already. No, it's not. It's not standard.
Okay.
So the other part was what?
No, that's mine.
Okay,
it's my job.
All right.
Put it back. I need to read it though. Right. Zrugal also asks, what anime character has the worst / most annoying catchphrase?
Xeno. It's fine if it's done right.
I'm not an anime character.
You're not? You lied to me.
Man, I don't know.
Domon Kashun from G Gundam had a really annoying one. It was just such a long speech and he always bloody said it. And it was just like, oh my god. It was like, by this burning hand of mine, something, and it's, yeah, oh my god, it's, yeah, that one, there you go. It was annoying. It wasn't, yeah.
Did Mike Saunders have a catchphrase?
I would like to posit Aqua with Kazuma.
That's not annoying.
Yes, it is.
That's endearing.
Nasuth, you wanna... No, I don't think I really have one.
Okay.
I guess Naruto with Believe It. So you go.
Oh god.
Databayo.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coffee equals spice. Actually, it's a comparison, but you know,
yeah, it's coffee is equal to spice.
No, it does coffee equal spice. Asks, what anime character has your favorite catchphrase?
Kazuma with I'm Kazuma.
Nasuth with it's fine if it's done right.
Fine if it's done right.
See, it's not convincing.
I can't think of good catchphrase. Not off the top of my head. Right.
My favorite was when I think my favorite catchphrase was when Alucard said, "I'm morbing out. It's morbing time," and he morbed all over the place.
No, it doesn't count if it's in your head only.
Whoa! So you know what you're saying? Head.
But it's not in my head only. It's not in my head only. There's literally videos of it.
Bullshit.
I will prove it to you after.
Damn straight you will. Right, so Xeno's Spiritual Turmoil asks, in a new twist, all fighting scenes are now hentai scenes. Which anime is now the worst hentai ever made?
Ooh.
Sword Art Online.
Ooh.
Ah! You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You are not wrong.
Fist of the North Star.
I was going to say anything. Oh. I was going to say anything involving kids, because that's just right out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You were already finished.
Anyway, yeah. I'm gonna Anyway, moving on.
Dragon Ball Z.
Right, so I'm glad you said that, because like another one came to mind. Anyway, so moving on to the comments from last week. First of all, the news. Strong Michelle says, I think that Terminator series, the Terminator Zero series looked kind of good, and it might be it might be if only they hadn't milked the franchise to death. Why is it that people flock to anime? because they tell new stories. But when the West tries to make anime, they insist on only remaking things they would have seen over and over by now. Like Suicide Squad. It's not too bad so far, but they act like brand new... so brand recognition is as good as creativity. Yeah, it really fucking isn't. You know what? Never mind. Dragon Ball Daima in the same boat.
No, I'm not sure it is, but sure.
Why do the ghosts from Ring have a cute version?
Because Japan. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Literally the answer.
Boy, I'm really going to be shocked when Strombus finds out what Rule 34 is.
Anyway, so his rule says, oh no more Komi. Well, you know, it's just the manga's coming.
It'll always be there for you to read again.
Oh, okay. Crunchyroll has to change more, so charge more than they used to because they wanted to change their logo. Now it makes sense. /sarcasm. I think I need to share that Naruto and TMNT story.
Make sure you share. Yes. Make sure you share the news with all your friends. You can timestamp specific spots if you want. You know.
Yeah. And now for the comments from last week's cast. So Zrul says, "It's fine if it's done right." Okay, I wanted to say it first. Please continue. 7 minutes later. Lol, I called it. Yeah, you're not wrong. Joking aside, I usually hate the power of friendship trope. If I were to pick a power of friendship anime, I'd pick Gurren Lagann. They later pulled the "Nuh-uh, we're gonna win because of friends" card.
It's true.
Yeah, they did. Lol, your improv story in the supporter question was pretty great. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Oh man, you that was the gondola Grey Goo. Yeah, I remember that one. That was a good one.
Yep.
Oh man, oh man, good show guys. You interrupted each other more than usual. I know it's fun.
No,
but
I
be
won't
nice
be
to
nice to
Zeno.
Never.
Fuck you.
Not a chance.
Later day.
This is why I like doing the review episodes, because you guys don't watch my shit, and then you can't interrupt me.
Yeah, it's because we have taste.
I think today was pretty good.
Says the Harry Potter fan. Right. Strong as Shell says. Nasuth.
Try. He's still going on about that. I think it's short-term memory loss.
Nasuth pays
He's still
money
going
to
on
look,
about that. I think it's short-term memory loss.
pays money to look that good. Also, Nasuth promotes the audio-only version of the video. Yep.
To be perfectly clear, I didn't pay for this. A very nice fan was like, "I like that design. I'm going to make you a model." So I didn't actually pay for this. Thank you, King. Thank you, King of Nightmare. Beautiful work.
Right.
But people, hit up King of Nightmare because he actually does stuff on commission and is a very good friend of the show.
Indeed.
Right. Strong Shell also says, I'll be honest, I've not actually watched Evangelion. Good. And the more you talk about it, the less I want to. Double good.
No!
Nasuth, keep on bringing it up.
No.
Right. I would absolutely put Komi Can't Communicate in the power of friendship category, half joking. And then laughing at Nasuth, hanging around the kids too much. Next he'll say these memes be bussin', yo, no cap.
For real.
Oh, gee, okay, right. Don't ban me. We won't ban you. But speaking about memes, that's the best part of the show.
I've got to say, Strombus, that was very skibbity of you.
Oh damn it! I was gonna say these memes are super skibbity. God damn it, Thaylien! Beating me to the punch.
But now
Sorry,
it is time.
Morgan on you too much.
But now it's time for the memes. Spell of fucking Christ! I'm gonna stab you two. And
all of our memes generally come from Reddit. I think Xeno has one from YouTube this time, though. Instagram. And
holy shit, we got 6 viewer memes.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
you
so
can join our Discord and submit your memes. We don't see them ahead of time. We see them live as we're recording. And yeah, this week we have 6 viewer memes. Shall we get into it?
Do it.
Also all the memes are linked in the description below. We keep them archived because Reddit loves to delete them, so you can go back and look anytime you want. Right, so... Viewer meme 1! Oh my god!
Oh my god, that is brilliant. I love this. This is glorious. That is amazing. Nasuth, we have found...
Nose pink.
Nasuth, we have found a new Discord profile picture for you.
Oh, I was going to say this is going to be the thumbnail for the episode.
Oh my god, no. No, we can't do that. Don't ruin it.
The more complex a power system can get, the funnier it is when someone pulls out a gun.
They're not wrong.
Oh, Fate Zero. Dear Reserves.
Reserves.
Wait, no. Yeah, Reserves
Dear
watching
Reserves.
how a weird anime made their ticket sales skyrocket all of a sudden.
Oh,
Dear Reserves. Oh. Right.
Oh, I
Yes.
understand. Sorry.
No.
Like a preservation part. Got it.
Nokotan.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, was that? Oh no, that was 3. Okay, here we go.
Parents, eat this food, baby. Never. The food is now an airplane. The baby.
Yeah.
Okay, Broomer.
Okay, Bruno.
That's the best adaptation of that meme I've seen.
Please don't shoot me! Some random NPC that I just met knew me exploring the game controls. Bang.
Bang.
Yeah.
Poor NPC. Alright, and now on to my memes. 4 types of people after drinking coffee. Which are you?
Oh my god. Hold on, what is...
I can feel more and more power rising in me.
Oh my god.
Awake, asleep, powerful, and toilet.
Yeah.
No Game No Life Season 2 is officially confirmed! Don't do that! Don't give me hope!
Yeah.
Don't give me hope.
I did check. This is false.
Okay. When people ask how's life going, that's a bottle of poison! Throw it at a monster and it'll instantly be afflicted with a... Nope, just drink it. That's how life's going. Everywhere I go, I see their faces. Yes. So they did Master Roshi as contemplating an orb. And lastly, life is not Shikanoko Koshitantan.
Wow.
Right, on to Thaylien's memes.
Apparently Christianity was a JoJo reference all along. The Forgive Them Father Bible verse is printed hoodie using Jesus from JoJo.
Oh my god, what?
Oh.
By the way, I installed locks on all our rooms to discourage any strong urges. Hey, I'm not like that. But if it makes you feel safe living together, that's cool. Right. For my safety. He doesn't know what I'm saying in Russian. Counter-Strike Global Adventure 10,004 hours on record.
Yep.
That's how he really learned.
Oh no.
Yep. Waifu.
Oh no.
Airbags.
Yeah.
And honestly, you have to go back, just pause it a little bit if you can.
I can't.
If people want to go pause this, they actually have phrases from the waifus on the thing saying, like, that was a close one, Oni-chan.
No.
Oh my god.
You know, saved your life,
Wow.
Oni-chan, and things like that. Oh, it's so bad. Burn up. To inflict massive damage, the user burns itself out. After using this move, the user will no longer be fire type. Moltres used burn up. Moltres burned itself out.
Oh dear.
Oh my god.
Naked chicken.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Oh my god.
know. Everybody, somebody that took a soul. Everybody, somebody.
Tobey Maguire will never escape from this. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man will never, ever escape from that Bully Maguire scene. Ever.
Right, on a Xenos. Oh, speaking of Spider-Man.
Everywhere I go, I see her face.
You hear that song.
Yep.
Yeah.
Freezer.exe has stopped responding.
What the fuck?
Mauru. Moshinderu. Nadi. Yep. Yep.
Lucky Star will never go away either.
Yep.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh,
So
somebody
come on.
somebody in Joey's server had a similar meme.
Yep. And then my last one. News: the Apothecary Diaries manga artist Nekakurage handed suspended sentence for tax evasion. Master Jinshi, look what I made.
Is that blue meth?
Ma'am. Yeah. Possession for first-degree narcotics.
Oh my god.
Oh, Mamo.
Master Jinchi.
Yep.
It's time we gotta cook.
Yep. Gotta cook. I think that was what the message was on the Reddit. It was like, let her cook. Yeah.
Right.
Right. That is it for the memes this week. Oh, this is it for the show this week. Yeah. So, yeah.
God, this is 3 hours again.
Yep.
This is not bad. Anyway, right. So thank you all for watching / listening. And now it is time to bottoms up and Kanpai!